Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, Ireland's only Ask the Harry Kane, bringing you the fan show, the Tottenham fan call-in show, where it's about Nuno, the appointment to Nuno on a 2-year contract. Are you happy with the appointment? Are you not? The link is up in the community section. If you're a white or a gold member, get over, click on the link and come on. Jack, how are you keeping, my man?
Not bad, David. You know, I'm kind of internalizing, as you can see down below, my inner Kanikolenko, you know, for the upcoming, Ukraine versus England match. Obviously, we're very disappointed, David, and now we're a little bit nervous about it coming home. But, maybe the Ukrainians will, somehow find it within them to beat them, David. So that's why I'm just changing the surname just for this week. But doing great, David. Looking forward to what the Harris Army has to say.
Yeah, so am I. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's opinion is on it. And of course, guys, we're drafting in Jack now. We're going to, so we can bounce off each other during this fan show. He'll spot things that I haven't said when people are talking and just get a good dynamic of questions and that going. Look, let's welcome a few people of the Harris Army in the building. First of all, make sure you do smash that like button, guys. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button. And feel free to help support the channel with a super chat or become a channel member. It all really does help take this channel to a new level. And, get better equipment and keep putting out better content every time. And I appreciate everybody's support so far. It's been absolutely amazing. And, you guys, the Harris Army, you're so important. This show is nothing without its fans and without its followers. This channel is absolutely nothing. So big yourselves up and give yourself a pat on the back. Mr. Edwardson says, I'm pleased that Nuno has been appointed. I didn't think anyone wanted the job after the way Jose was treated. Big up, Mr. Edwardson. We have Steve Westhead. He says, Levy was running out of time, but the hype by fans is OTT. Yeah, I get that. I can see where you're coming from. Sue Smith says, we could have done a little worse, in my opinion. Hope Levy treats the dignified man better than he has previous managers. I'm still Levy and Enoch out. No, 100%. I want to stress this. We can still support Nuno and get behind the management and see what he's trying to do and stuff like that and back the manager and still be Levy and Enoch out. By supporting Nuno, you're not supporting Levy or that by no means. We have to try and get behind the guy because the thing is, I get it, we want Levy out, but we also want to progress on the pitch too. We want to see progression on the pitch because I, for one, certainly can't take another season that we had last season. I certainly cannot take it. It's not good for my health. Lionel Messi, big yourself up. And he fair comment yesterday on Will's channel where he said, I'm the GOAT now because I'm still in the tournament. Ronaldo's gone home. So, look, I let you have it today, my man. I let you have it today.
He's jumping out of his chair.
It was good. It was a good one. It's a good one. Very witty. Scott M says, no to Nuno. Nuno out. Mr. K, big yourself up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. Mr. K, I want to see you come on. Go and click that link, my man. Go and click that link. Who else have we got in the building? We have Colin Turner. Nuno seems really excited and up for it. Must give him all the backing he needs. My only concern is who's going and who's coming. Well, see, That's the thing, Colin. We couldn't do that before. We were never ever going to sell players and buy in players without a manager. What players we want to sign, not knowing who they're going to be playing under and stuff like that. So now we can progress with all this. Now we can really get stuck into the transfer market, and that's the good thing to come from it, my man. That's the only positive we can take from it now. Mr. K telling everyone to smash it like you tell him, Mr. K. You're the boss. Wesley says some people are Nuno out already. Grow up. I don't get that one. They haven't even given the man a chance. It's absolutely shocking. Anthony Gray must back Nuno, not his fault. The saga at our club must get behind him. Perfectly said, Anthony. Big yourself up. Great comment. David Fisher, big yourself up. Hope you're keeping okay, my man. Kyle Hare says Nuno is a nodding dog. It's simple as that. Yeah, look, each to their own, each to their own. Mr. K, 3.22k subs. Nuts, thanks you so much, my man. I really do appreciate it. We're growing and we're moving in the right direction and we're staying strong. And the Harris Army is with us all the way. Dtrex Kane, hashtag Harris Army, big yourself up. Paul Anderson, big up everyone. Looking happy to finally get a manager, finally, 100%. Look, the saga is over, thank God. I know it took so long and everything else, but it's over now. We put an end to it. The regular, big yourself up, my man. Corey, any word about his backroom staff? Jack, I haven't heard anything. Have you?
I haven't heard anything either, David. I mean, ideally, he has that one guy. I think there's one of them in his backroom staff that is supposedly one of his better mates that he also really trusts. I think with training. So hopefully, maybe he at least gets one or two of his mates. I would say, in the backroom staff that he really trusts.
Yeah, 100%. Adam Phillip says, I'm just all right with it. Yeah, look, that's fair enough. I understand it's underwhelming. For me, look, I'll be honest, it's underwhelming too, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. We have to try and see the positives. Aaron, don't dig yourself up, my man. Hope you're keeping well. Wayne Bonner, my man, how are you keeping, lad? So this is what it's like to have a manager. I know, my man. Wayne, I want to know what you think, man. I want to know what you think. How are you, lads? Come on, you Spurs. Come on, Spurs. Big up, Tom.
Big up, Tom.
Pre-season starting back Monday, and it's close to the season. Come on. And we have Tottenham 9-4-3. No matter what manager comes in, we ain't winning nothing while that parasite is at the club. Yeah, look, I get that. But the thing is, we still want to be a Premier League club. You know what I mean? So at least we have a manager. Look, he brought Wolves up from the Championship, 2 7th place finishes bar last season. But injuries and everything else blighted that season last season. And he played a lot of youngsters and got the best out of them. So, look, I get it. We won't win nothing while that parasite is at the club, but we want to still make sure we're a Premier League club as well, my man. But, look, we have a tradition here on this channel. We see so many people in the comments, and we like to, get the faces behind the names. And then we have a special one here for you today, guys. One, we see her over all the channels. She's absolutely everywhere. She's so generous, and she puts in some great comments and cracks me and Jack up especially. And it's Ellie, a.k.a. Aglaya Kakaras. How are you keeping?
Very well, thank you, David. Brilliant.
No, that's good. And look, no, thank you so much. And thanks very much for coming on. But look, what do you think of Nuno? What do you think of the appointment? Are you happy?
Yes, I'm very happy because what a great job he done at Wolves. When you think he brought them up from the Championship and he made them a very, very exciting, forward-thinking team. I love watching Wolves.
Yeah.
And when they played us, they always battered us. They battered us.
True.
We beat them a couple of times, just about. But I like the way they play, and I hope he brings that style to our club as well.
1000%, I like that.
Everybody's saying he's defensive. I don't think he is. He's not a defensive bloke. They attack. The first thing they do is attack Wolves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jack, have you a question there?
No, I was just going to say to Ellie, did you like any of the Wolves players in particular? And are there any Wolves players that you think could kind of be similar to some of our Spurs players? Like, do you think maybe Højbjerg could be like Ruben Neves or something like that?
Yeah, do you know who I like best? Is Neto.
Mm-hmm.
All he does is want to go forward. And I'm Traore as well, but he's a little bit like Lennon. He hasn't got an end product.
Mm.
Like the early years of Lennon when he couldn't cross the ball. Yeah, but I like Neves and I like Semedo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 very good players. And of course, look, Neves would be a good player if we could get him in because he's a tempo setter.
Yeah.
Right.
But Ellie, do you think that Nuno could probably get the best out of Doherty this season?
Mm.
Yeah, I think so, because when you think about it, he came into a side that was a bit disjointed, and we had Bell come in, Reguilon, he was a bit unsettled, Højbjerg was new, and he was finding his feet, and then he got dropped, so that damages your confidence.
Right.
And the fans were all slating him on Instagram and social media. He must look at it, and it must affect him. So, no, he's a good Irish lad. Come on, the Irish.
Big up, Ellie. Ellie, is there anybody in the lineup that you don't want to see Nuno give a second chance to?
Good question.
Yeah, I think he should give him a second chance because although he's a gooner, I've heard he's a gooner, we've got to give him a chance because at the end of the day, he's better than Aurier.
Right. No, I agree with that. Are there any players that?
Aurier.
Right. Are there any players he shouldn't give a second chance to, maybe apart from Doherty?
Winks. Winks.
You've made me happy now. You've made me happy. That's the first thing I wanted to hear.
God.
It's music.
That boy can't play football. All he does is pass back sideways, pass back. Well, what's going? The only good thing he did was score that goal. That was a fluke.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing he's done all season.
No, I fully agree with you. It's the guy's a joke. But what about the likes of Dyer, Sissoko, maybe Dele Alli, and Ben Davies? Do you think maybe they have do you maybe think they have a second chance under Nuno? Or do you think they need to go too?
I think they all need to go. Sissoko, 2 years ago, yeah, he was good. He was playing for the club, but now he's lost his way. So let him go. Dyer, bloody hell, don't get me started on Dyer. Oh my God, what a crappy player he is. Rubbish. All he does is make mistakes. And he can't pass the ball either. If he could pass the ball, it'd be good. Like, Toby should teach him how to pass the ball. Winks, yeah, he's got to go. No, none of them. I think Dele Alli, possibly give him another chance. 1 more year. If he doesn't come out of this stupidness that he's doing, all this Instagram stuff and just larking about, you know, not taking his football serious. We've got to give him 1 more year because he's got talent. He has. That's the only one. Davis, maybe keep him as a squad player. That's it. I had to say
that's reasonable.
Yeah. Mr. Anonymous.
You're a lot kinder on the players than what I am.
Mr. Anonymous would like a good squad player position. I think, David. I think she's right. That's that's a good diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Ellie, what formation do you think that? Look, besides bringing in anybody, but with this current crop of players, what formation do you think would suit this Tottenham squad? As is, do you think maybe the three at the back that you played, that was the 3 centre backs? Do you think maybe he could bring that into Tottenham? Do you think it would work?
Yeah. I think it would work because Toby and Roden and Tanganga and Doherty and Reguilon, they're the 5. And play Højbjerg as a sweeper to sweep up, make sure nobody gets through. Not on Belly.
Yeah.
If he gets another chance and see if Nuno likes him. But he's got to pull his socks up because the boy is talented. He's just got to pull his socks up and start getting. Well, first of all, he's got to get fit, hasn't he? Because he hasn't.
That's why we call him Ronald McDombele.
60 minutes. It's true, but the boy's talented. You can see. I mean, he just does one little swerve, and like everybody go, "Whoa!" Because he takes your breath away the way he drops his shoulder, and he leaves them for dead. And then Sonny, if Kane's going to go, we need another striker, don't we?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also,
Sonny. Yeah, I play Sonny and Mora, and then a striker up front. Because Mora, he can carry the ball. Lamela, he holds the ball too long. He doesn't know when to pass. He holds it too long.
100%.
That's fair.
He wants to make love to the ball before he passes it to a player.
Yeah, he caresses the ball too long. Wishes it a good night's sleep.
Winks only dreams of caressing that football, so he does. You know, we're making Harry Winks jealous right here with that sort of talk. Willie McKenzie, with the super sticker, big yourself up, a big donation. And he says, just some support, bro. Big yourself up, man. Really do appreciate it. What an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Very generous, William.
Jack, have you any more questions for Ellie?
No, I'll ask her one more, but I did love that she said, with Tongi, David, I haven't heard that expression yet. Tongi just needs to pull up the socks a bit, maybe just tighten the waistband, as well, on the shorts. But maybe with Ellie, what do you think it is with Tongi? Is it kind of just one of those things where certain players, they know they're so good, maybe they don't have to work as hard as others. Like maybe what do you put it down to? Is it the fast food? But is it also maybe something else? Is it something else maybe apart from maybe all the burgers?
I think with him, right, because a lot of the managers, they didn't really trust him. And he lost his confidence a bit.
Yeah.
Right? So when he did
a lot of players did.
The team, they were pulling him off at 60 minutes or 70 minutes. He wasn't in the full game. And you can see when he was coming off, he was a bit pissed off, wasn't he?
Yeah, you did actually.
Pissed off.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
You could see
and maybe
his
that's
face,
got
his
to him.
body language. He wanted to stay on. And also with him, if he doesn't get a lot of the ball, because sometimes they bypass him, don't they? They lob it over him, and he gets disinterested. He's one of these players who loves the ball.
Center of attention.
Him. Give him the ball because he can do magic with it.
Right.
And he can create things for us.
Yeah, I completely agree, Ellie. Completely agree.
Do you think that we need to be playing Ronald McDombele further forward, or do you think maybe that he can pick up that position beside Ndombele, or do you think maybe we need to play him more in the centre attacking midfield role and not get him to do the defensive side again?
Who did you say?
Ronald McDombele.
Oh, not
Ndombele.
Yeah, I think we should play him more forward because we play him like a defensive midfielder now.
Right.
He's not a defense. He's an attacking midfielder. He can beat players. You've seen it. It's when he's more forward, he's more effective. When he drops back and he has to work harder to stop the opposition playing. He's not cut out for that. Let Højbjerg do that. Højbjerg's like 5 players across the back, isn't he? It's like having 5 defenders with Højbjerg. He's everywhere.
That's right. Ellie's the one who wants 11 Højbjergs. That's right. Yeah.
He's your favourite player, isn't he?
I love that, Ellie. I think he's David and I's.
I love him because I love players. I love players who play for the badge.
Right.
Yeah? And he's all heart and all blood and thunder. I love him.
I would say he earns that 100K, whatever it is.
He earns every penny.
Yeah.
Every single penny.
Would you make him captain, man?
Yes, definitely. Because Lloris is too quiet. He's not vocal enough. All you hear him is say, away. That's all he says. But he was born to be Spurs' captain, that boy. He was born to be Spurs' captain. Come on. Nuno, make him captain. If you're watching this show.
That's music to him. That's music to my ears. That's music to my ears.
I know you love him as well, boys. You love him as well.
Yeah. Oh, we're huge fans of the Viking.
Oh, you can't
Jeremy Brickhouse, that's what we call him. He's such an animal in the midfield. And look, last question for me on Højbjerg is, we've seen him play further forward for Denmark. At one stage in one of the games, they brought Christensen in as a centre defensive midfielder and let Højbjerg go further forward. And of course, he's already got 3 assists at the European Championships.
Wow.
Do you think that maybe we can unleash the reins and let him go forward a bit more? Because, look, I know under Mourinho, the reason why he sat so deep and didn't really move too far away from the defence is because of how shit it was. But do you think maybe if Nuno can shore that up, that we can unleash Højbjerg to go further forward and we could see more out of him?
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, if we play Tanganga, Roden and Toby, and then Doherty and Reguilon's not such a good defender, but he's fantastic going forward. Doherty's solid, Tanganga's solid, Rodon's solid, Toby's solid. So he can go forward because you can rely on those 3. Before, you couldn't rely on Dyer, and Sanchez. They're rubbish. They make too many mistakes. So yeah, we can. We'll get the best out of him. And with Højbjerg, even though he goes forward, he would track back. If they're attacking, he'd get his ass back to the defence to defend as well, to help them. That type of character.
I love that back three, Ellie,
him.
by the way.
Fantastic.
You have your back three spot on.
Yeah. Those
She doesn't even need to sign anybody.
Nuno's assistant.
Yeah, she doesn't even need to sign anybody, David. That was a strong back three right off the bat, you know, and also the wingers as well, David. It sounded like, Nuno would already be happy with that, maybe.
Yeah, stop it. You're getting me too positive. We're getting going into this season. You are way too positive. Ellie, is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, Winks, go in. Get Winks out.
Aston Villa.
I want to tap Nuno on his shoulder and tell him you haven't got rid of him yet.
Every game, every home game, you can be there behind the dugout.
Yeah. Well, I used to play football for Spurs, so you know that from my chats. And I used to be a midfielder, but I wasn't like Højbjerg. I was more like
maybe
or Modric.
Oh, class.
I was more like
best player in the park then. Best player in the park
Modric.
then.
Ellie Modric.
Modric, what a player that guy was, huh?
Ellie Modric, I love it.
I was very skillful. Yeah, because Modric, if we had to play like him with Nod on belly as well, we should buy another creative midfielder. You know.
Do you have a bit of the Tanguy? Do you have a bit of the Tanguy in you as well?
Yeah.
Ellie, do you have a bit of the Tanguy skills? Yeah, nice.
Drop the shoulder.
Love it.
I was a bit slower like Tanguy as well. I'm not a fast runner.
Yeah, deceptive.
No, I was a bit more slower. Yeah.
I have to say, you're getting absolutely a lot of love here in the comment section, but Alexander Hilton has called you Ellie Winks.
Ellie Winks, oh no. No. That's my worst nightmare. If I was married to him, I would probably put the pillow over his head in the night time.
No, look, he's a player. He's a player that's been too mammied all his life, I'd say.
Right.
Yeah, he's been mummied, isn't he?
Right.
Do you know what it is with him? He just doesn't know how to pass the ball forward. Why don't somebody get hold of him and say, "Play, pass the ball forward"?
Just position his head forward, maybe.
Sideways and backwards, like in the. Do you remember the League Cup final? He damaged all our attacks. All he was doing was passing it back all the time. And
I'll tell you why that is. I'll tell you why that is because Winks, he doesn't receive the ball in a half turn. Now, Ellie, you play football, right? So, you know, when you were taught when you were younger, when the ball's coming to you, be on your toes, receive the ball in a half turn. Because when you're receiving the ball in midfield on the half turn, it opens up the pitch going forward so you can see what's in front of you. But he doesn't do that. He gets it with his back to play and just gets it and passes it back to the same way it came from or passes it left or right. And that's why he can't play forward. Because he's not even doing the basics of what was taught to a player when they were 5.
You're right. You're right. He doesn't get his body shape right to actually manoeuvre himself forward. He's always got his back to the ball, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Even when you were describing, Ellie, when you were describing, dipping your shoulder, turning. Ellie, when you were describing dipping your shoulder, turning your man, that was all foreign language, to Harry if he was listening to that right now.
But you know what? The guy's afraid to get hurt as well, though. He's afraid to get hurt. And that's why you never see him taking on players, because he doesn't have that mentality. You know what I mean? Like, even though he's not the biggest of lads, mentality alone can make you hard to knock off the ball, and he just doesn't have it. And we'll take a few more comments here because there's some cracking names. We have Willie McKenzie. He says quick turns in midfield are key. I agree. Then we have the Community Hub 2 says Ellie Min Son. Tot 943 has called you Ellie Kane.
Yes.
Dan N has called you Endomelli. Endomelli. That's a good one.
I like
that. Adam Phillip has called you Ellie Zakaria. Matthew has called you Ellie the Viking.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Ellie. Oh, yes.
And Arman Amasia says Ellie is awesome. Ellie Ardiles from Alex Hilton.
Yes.
Ellie Howells. Ellie Howells from Amzo. Big up. Some absolute crackers there. Some absolute crackers. Yous are all good banter. I love every single one of yous. It's brilliant. And Adam Phillip says, if only Dyer could turn like Ellie.
Most of our midfield could.
I love it. I love it.
And James Watson has called you Deli
Yes,
Ellie.
I know what I mean.
Would you take Deli Ellie?
Yes. I like going into a deli to get the food.
Ellie's Deli.
I wanted to say about Deli Ellie. If somebody grabs him and says to him, look, you're a talented lad. Stop all this shit and get focused on football. Because I've seen him, he's quite ripped now, isn't he? He's been in the gym. So now we need him to focus on the football pitch. Because it's all very well focusing in the gym, but you've also got to take that focus onto the football pitch and be narrow-minded.
Yeah.
And show his talent, because he is talented. I know you don't like him, David. You want him to leave.
No.
One more year.
It's not that I don't like him, Ellie, right? The thing is, for me, right? Look, anyone can rub themselves in baby oil, get an action picture taken, and then just go back in their car and drive home, right? What I actually want to see is, I'm sick of seeing pictures and stories on Instagram and little whatever they call them on Snapchat stories or whatever that shit is. You know what I mean? Instead of seeing all of that and, you know, oh, come over to my Instagram, I'm going to give away a free watch and shit like this. I just want to see them play football. It's what they're paid to do. You know what I mean? What they do off the pitch, I couldn't care less, as long as they're playing for the badge and playing for the football club. But at the end of the day, this is what separates the good players from the world-class players. World-class players, no matter what manager comes in, and no matter what's going on in their life, they will always give 100% on the pitch and will play week in, week out very, very well. Players like Dele Alli, he's not world-class, and the reason why is because career at the top level, it's probably 10 years max if you're elite 14, you know what I mean? But 10 years max, and that's from 18. About 12 years max, from 18 to 30, roughly, at the very top level if you're good, right?
Right.
Now, Dele Alli's already pissed away 3 years of his career. He's pissed it away, doing absolute jack shit. Yeah. Now, instead of moaning, oh, the manager won't pick me, over the course of your career, you have to, like, you're going to come across different managers. So you have to be able to adapt to their style of play. Every player does it. Dele Alli should be no exception. Every player across their career does it. And like another thing I have a gripe with is people want to blame Jose for Dele Alli's form. It was bad up before Jose even got here. And with Dele Alli, like everyone can say, like, you know, it's the manager's fault. But when does the onus become on the player? Because the manager can only do so much with a player. Like the manager can only try so many different ways of trying to motivate him, whether it be nice to him, whether it speak out about him, impress to try and get him to react. You know what I mean? Before he says, okay, well, if you don't want to pull your weight, you're one person out of 25. I can't have you distracting the rest of the players. You know what I mean? So you're going to play a secondary role. When does the onus become on the player that it's you know, to just step up and be like, just be a professional?
Yeah, I agree with you. But like, if you see the way, like the Crystal Palace goal, for example, the one against Chelsea, when Dyer actually done a really good pass to him, bloody hell. He must have had the blood rush to his head that day. So he looked at and that goal against Chelsea was fabulous. That is world class. If he can capture that again this season, the fans will go crazy for him again, because he's like two and a half years. He's wasted his career. He has. I don't know what's wrong with him. He likes the high life, doesn't he? Like, he doesn't want to focus on his football. But if he gets focused again, he can hit those heights again.
Yeah, he can. He can.
That goal.
But for me, I think we need to send out a statement to Tottenham and just say, look, this story. this sort of stuff is not good enough anymore. You know what I mean? You can't come here and piss about for 2 years and turn it on and off when you feel like it. I think somewhere along the line we have to make a statement.
I think Nuno's a strong character, right?
Yeah.
I think he's even stronger than Jose. You can see. I think if he grabs hold of him and says, "Look, you're wasting your talent. Please focus and get back to the Dele Alli we knew 3 years ago, so that we can get the best out of you. Stop all this nonsense off the pitch and focus your attention on playing the goals that he scored. Even that one that he scored last season, the overhead kick one in the Europa League. Not all players can do that. So he's got the talent. He just hasn't got the attitude."
Ellie, it sounds like you need to send Nuno the speech, for him.
Well, look, Ellie.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't live far from the training ground. I'll go down there and I'll grab him.
You don't even have to. Just sit in your back garden with a megaphone. That's all you have to do. He'll hear you from there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But look, Ellie, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's brilliant to put a face behind the name. And thank you so much for coming on. But we do have other guests to get to, and we have to finish at 9 o'clock here. Yeah. So thank you so much. I think you've been an absolute breath of fresh air. Lovely. I think you've been a brilliant and put a smile on all of our faces.
Thank you. You put a smile on my face as well.
I appreciate that. You're too kind. And look, the Harris Army, they absolutely loved you as well. So thank you so much, Ellie. And look, we'll sit down and we'll record your Spurs story next week. We'll get that done. And we'll put that out for everyone to see.
Ellie Modric, soon to come.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Jack.
Big up. Good to see you, Ellie.
See you, Ellie. I want to see you on here again on the net on fan shows in future.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Ellie.
Enoch out there, yeah. You have it from the winner side. Big up, Ellie, lads. What an absolute great guest, I have to say. Absolutely brilliant guest. Look, you make sure you do get in the comment section, and let Ellie know how much you appreciated her coming on and how good she was, guys. But look, let's waste no further time. Actually, Jack, before we do get on the next guest, was it nice to put the face behind the name?
No, absolutely. I feel like Ellie, Sue Smith, but especially Ellie. Ellie is she's so incredibly generous to the channel. And it's just finally we get to see the legend herself. Especially David, her being a Spurs player even as well. She's got a bit of the she knows the bit of the insides and outs of the club. She maybe knows some of the dark secrets that she might be hiding from us as well, David. So it's going to be class. I can't wait to see that Spurs story, especially maybe some of the war stories she might have as a player.
Yeah, 100%. I can't wait either. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Tot943 says, top drawer, Ellie. Brian C, big yourself up, man. Hope you're keeping well. And he says, big up, Ellie. Aaron Dove says, get that girl a flat cap. No, look, she will be getting one. Don't worry. She said her husband has one. She's going to rub it on him for the next one until she gets one. But look, speaking of hats, we are going to bring on Brad Matthews next. And he does actually have a cap. After that, we have Joe Grimes, the Yeet Kid, and Phillip Brady as well, my man Phillip Brady. But look, speaking of flat caps, guys, you have to be impressed. We have Brad. How are you keeping, my man? Love the hat.
I got Brad.
I'm good, thank you. I'm went back to work this week, so a little bit of a culture shock, but no, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Good. Well, look, where do you want to start? We'll start with Nuno, I suppose, the hottest topic. But are you happy? Are you underwhelmed?
I'm sort of getting used to it now. It's sort of the more I see about him, the more I read about him, the more I sort of hear about him. Yeah, I'm sort of, I won't say I'm excited, but it's sort of going towards that way. I've seen a few things on YouTube, and it's quite interesting how he's progressed from really, really small teams. And he seems to have gone up a notch every time he's moved on to somewhere. And he sort of said that. He's always looking to the next level. And, with no disrespect to Wolves, I guess Wolves to Spurs is probably that next level. So, and I've also heard he's very adaptable to different tactics and that sort of thing. So I was worried about the Mourinho comparison. I mean, he played under Mourinho at Porto. But from what I'm hearing, he's actually quite adaptable, and he, like his Valencia team, apparently was pretty good. and scored a lot of goals. So yeah, I'm sort of and what I've seen on TV, his interviews, yeah, he speaks well. Yeah, hopefully he'll have that sort of motivation, and hopefully he'll be quite tough as well, because I think that's what Spurs need at the moment. Although I guess Mourinho, you just would have thought would have been tough, but yeah, no, we need that. We need a bit of that tough edge now.
Is there anybody, Brad? Is there anybody at work that you kind of give banter to when it comes to football? Is there anybody that gives you a little bit of banter? Anybody that you kind of discuss it with?
We're walking. I've been working from home now for 15, 16
But now
months.
that you're coming back, is there anybody you're afraid of?
Yeah. I'm still working from home, but
right.
No, yeah, we I actually, one of my team is a massive Liverpool fan, but he's one of these fans that's very it's not so much banter, he's quite respectful and that sort of thing. We've got a guy who's a Man United fan who's gone about, it's going to be really good to see Harry Kane playing with Paul Pogba, and I'm going, yeah, in dreams, mate. And surprisingly enough, I've got a girl who's a massive Arsenal fan. She's actually a refugee. She came over from the Balkans when she was 4, which is an Arsenal fan.
Wow.
And but she's really, really good as well. And we're literally sort of, having games to see who will be worse last season.
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe now that, do you feel like you're going to walk into maybe a conversation with them where, are you going to be proud that, Nuno is signed? Or are you going to be kind of indifferent? Are you going to be kind of bragging to them? What's your feeling?
Well, the comments I've got from them so far is, that's actually quite a good signing sort of thing. So yeah, so I'm hopeful that, we'll I mean, we've got a few WhatsApp groups for football chat and that sort of thing. But a lot of our people in my office are sort of they're more sort of rugby and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm sort of it's not an embarrassing signing, which I think I've been bantering with the Arsenal girl about Arteta and that sort of thing and Emery. So it's most of my friends are sort of saying, actually that's quite good. So. And I think also what happened with us, with Spurs fans, was that because we was given Pochettino and then we was given Conte as the coaches, anyone else after that is going to be a letdown. If we'd have had Nuno first, then maybe that might have been, everyone would have been okay. But from what I've seen on Twitter and various social media, most people seem quite happy with the. Now, whether that's because it's over, we've actually got a manager, or whether they generally are excited, well, we shall see. But yeah, it all depends on also the players that we buy as well, that we get in.
Sounds like though you'll be kind of bragging, maybe sending a couple of the Nuno, beard outlines to some of the coworkers. And is there anybody that in the squad, maybe just in the current squad right now, that you could see us, maybe just absolutely just adoring next season, and maybe being an unexpected, kind of maybe player of the season, in the squad?
I think the obvious one is Doherty, with obviously having played under him, and also if we go into sort of like a wing back situation, because at the moment we have the two
seem set up for it.
Yeah, we're perfect for wing backs. Yeah, Reguilón is a wing back. I think that would work. And when you look back to the glory, the Pochettino team, we had Walker and Rose, who were brilliant, and they, going forward, and that's what we need to get back to that. And most of your big teams have decent fullbacks, so I think Doherty hearing what everyone's been talking about Dele Alli, that'll be really interesting to see what happens with Dele Alli.
Yeah, because he's kind of in a big position all the time.
Yeah. Right? Now, I don't think Ali plays in the right position at Tottenham. Not in recent years.
Where should he play?
Well, I think he should play.
Do you not on right position? Every manager that comes in, right, they have different formations and different things they want the players to do. Do you not think it's up to Dele Alli to show it that he's adaptable to different sort of managers' systems and stuff? Because no matter whether it's at Tottenham or whether he goes to other clubs around Europe, he's gonna come across 3-4 different managers at a time at a club. Do you not think it's more on him to make himself adaptable? Because that's why maybe you see Premier League squads that, look, they all don't have 20, like Bar City and probably Chelsea, they don't have 25 world-class players. But, the likes of Liverpool, they have James Milner in there, who's made a career off being able to adapt to different manager systems.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I'm just going back to when he was, 2017. It was coming behind the striker and coming up on the blind side. That's where he scored a lot of his goals. Even for England, he scored goals like that. And I sort of remember, I'm old enough to remember a player called Martin Peters, and he did the sort of same role. And they used to call him the Ghost because no one knew he was there. And you know, and that's what Dele Alli used to do. And you know, but you know, I do, you know, I take your point. Yeah, you should, you know, as a professional footballer, you know, you should be able to adapt. But then again, some professional footballers can't kick with their wrong foot. Yeah, which really annoys me. You know, so
I get that, but I guess what I'm saying is that not every manager's going to play a centre attacker midfielder where they're going to give him that role to run in off the striker. He has to be able to adapt into, for instance, like I see a lot of teams now playing 3 across the middle, and the ones on the outside they're allowed to get forward a bit more. Now, what he's going to have to learn to that maybe he might have to play that role over his career. He can't always just be stuck there in and around the striker and not have to do the tracking back, this, that, and the other. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, actually, my point I was going to make is also it depends on the balance of the team, how we do set up, because obviously you've got people like you know, London Belly. You know, can he get further forward? Yeah, as long as you've got the cover at the back. Can Højbjerg get further forward? Yeah, you might have Oliver Skip coming into the position next season, and can he cover as Højbjerg goes forward? So you've got all these sort of, you know, these sort of things that these permutations that could happen. And yeah, it depends on the formation that we play next season. It might be a situation 4-3-3 where there isn't a place for Dele Alli playing his sort of ghosting role. But yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. And I would certainly, unless we get an absolute silly offer for him, I'd certainly would keep him this season and see what happens. You know. I was seeing the other night he's putting things on Instagram where he's practicing really hard and training hard, all that sort of thing, you know, and getting ready for the season, and you know. But
Brad, with the right clothing and the right camera angle, I can look in shape and look like I'm exercising. You know what I mean? Let's be honest about it. This is what I'm sick of. I'm sick of all this crap. Just do it on the pitch. Come pre-season, come the season, he better be raring to go and he better be fit. And if he's given his opportunity, he better take it, especially after all these pictures. If not, I'm going to be relentless on this guy. And the reason why is because he has so much talent, he just won't realise it. That's the problem. Yeah. But look, moving on from Dele Alli, Brad, what did you like most about the Wolves team? And like, what would you like Nuno to bring from that Wolves team to Tottenham?
I like the way they used to press and they used to, you know, basically make it uncomfortable for other teams.
Right.
And we, you know, I was at the Wembley game where I think was on this really wonderful run, and Harry Kane scored that brilliant goal, and yeah, we're going to win it. And they just sort of came in the second half. They just beat us on the break, and they were brilliant that day, absolutely brilliant. And you could not argue that. Well, yeah, we were beaten by the better team that day. So I think that, you know, that, I mean, the fact they went to Old Trafford and won up there, I think they won. They came from behind to beat Man City. So he had that sort of grit and determination, and if he can, which I think we've been lacking this season. We did it under Pochettino, but you know, we've been lacking it in recent seasons. Now maybe that's because of the players we got. We need to ship out a few, but yeah, I like, you know, and I think if Nuno can get that into the team, because let's face it, if you look at last season, although it was an awful season, we were 7 points from top 4. So that's what the 2 games: Newcastle, West Ham. You know, that's 4 points that we dropped, and then you got another 3 points. How many games have we dropped 2 points because we, you know, conceded a last minute goal? You know,
just on that, Brad, I'd be very weary to say, you know, that basically, you know, if this squad did bulk up, that we could get top 4, because Liverpool would be better this season. Yeah. They're not going to go through their injury crisis the way they did. Yeah. United are after buying Sancho. They're looking to get Varane. They're going to improve a hell of a lot more. Chelsea are going to improve a hell of a lot more. So are City. So it's going to be a lot harder for us to break into that top 4. Yeah. So we can't have that notion that these players will be good enough next season.
I think
they won't be.
Yeah. No, I think we need changes, definitely. What I'm saying is how bad we were last season. We weren't that far off. And you know, you are right. Liverpool will come back. Chelsea will come back. No, I don't think. You know, in my wildest dreams, we'll be making top 4 this season. I think we're a top 6, top 7 team at the best. But then again, it depends on who we get in, who we get rid of, who we get in. You know, it's. I mean, you know,
just on that, Brad. Just on that, I have one more question for you, and then I'm sure Jack has a question or two for you. But just on that, Brad, with Nuno, if we don't back him, are you scared that he'll end up carrying the can like Pochettino did and Mourinho did? Like, we have to back this guy this time, surely.
Well, yeah, you think so, wouldn't you? But I've been reading today on Twitter that that we want a deal for this defender, and his asking price is 15 million, and we're offering 12.5, and it's like, nothing changes, sort of thing. That's us all over, and that is what has to change. That you've got to pay the asking price. It's only we're not poor. We're not obviously not the richest club in the world, but we're certainly not poor. And yeah, I think I was just wondering actually with the situation with the director of football, Paratici, is that if he can take those reins from, if Levy can give him a bit more room and not get involved in the football side, that certainly would be a good thing. And I'm just wondering whether Paratici, sort of from what I've heard, convincing Levy that Nuno can play attacking football and we'll bring that to Spurs. Maybe is that Levy just sort of slacking it off a little tad sort of thing? I mean, I won't believe it till I see it, but yeah, hopefully that, he's a human being, so he must know the flack he's getting. He must know the criticism he gets, and also this Paratici is from what I've heard, is a strong character. So maybe he's sort of said to him, listen, these are the facts, sort of thing, But it's look, like any pre-season, it's always optimistic. We shall have to see, I guess. But yeah, we definitely, we need to back this guy. And as I said give him a budget. This is your budget. You spend it how you want. If you want to spend, if you got £100 million budget and you want to spend £75 million on a player, you do it. Buy that player. Don't all this, oh no, it's not worth that. And, just stay out of it, Daniel. Just stay well out of it.
Yeah.
Give him the money.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, money doesn't grow on trees. So obviously, give him the money. So this is the money you've got. You spend it how you want. So rather than buying 5 players worth 50 million, you might buy the 2 players £50 million each, whatever, that could make the difference. Because that's these players do make a difference. Sort of good players that are, those 1 or 2 good players as opposed to 5 or 6 sort of ordinary players, squad players,
Yeah.
Now,
Jack,
Brad,
have you any questions?
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Brad, with Nuno, I feel like he hasn't had maybe, the attacking, let's say, I don't know, riches that maybe he might have now. But maybe he's also possibly inheriting a worse defense than he would like, and maybe even a worse defense than he had before, maybe one would argue. What do you make of this? Do you think he might actually, benefit from just having a whole new kind of attack, one that's like, you might say way better? Or do you think he might struggle also with, having a worse defense? Do you think he can improve maybe the defenders? He's had like Phillip, he's had Connor Cody, he's turned into a center back, Roman Saiz, Dendonker. Like, what do you make of this? Do you think he could maybe rescue maybe somebody like GPS Sanchez or somebody like that?
Well, the one with, I think Ellie put it really well when she went, her players that she mentioned, that we've got decent players in the team. Rodon has had a cracking.
Yeah, that back three, right?
Alderweireld is Alderweireld. Well, okay, you've got to replace him at some stage as he's getting older.
But he's still him, yeah.
Yeah, Tanganga has played well. And then it's who you bring in. We're looking at centre. Now, to be honest,
can improve them massively.
I don't know how good these guys are. But yeah, you bring them in, and then you have got and then you can say to people, players like Dyer, sorry mate, we've got 4 recent decent centre backs, bye bye. It's because at the moment we've got too many ordinary players playing in the first team. It's okay if they're on the bench, if they're in the squad that you can bring in when you need to, but you can't have it. And that's why people. I mean, look, players like Eric Lamela, love him, but we haven't won anything with Eric Lamela.
Yeah, but washed out. Yeah,
exactly. We haven't won anything with these sort of players. Winks and Sissoko 2 seasons ago, Sissoko was brilliant, and yet he's not the same player anymore. Get rid of him. They've gone past their sell-by date. And if you get the money, and this is again where it comes down to the money. If you get a decent offer, sell him. Don't say, oh no, we want a bit more for him. We want to get our money back. It's like, no, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. What do you? And also, Brad, I wanted to ask you, because with Nuno, right? Supposedly he's played a ton of different formations. He actually had, he was very adaptable at Valencia. But what do you think might be, just in your opinion, what might be the best formation for Spurs maybe under Nuno? Is it that 3-4-3 or 3-5-2? Is it maybe something with a 4 in the back? What do you think?
Well, Yeah, I mean, we've also worked well with the wing backs, and Doherty is obviously a better player wing back. And as I said earlier, we've got Reguilon, who's a decent player. We've also got Sessegnon to come back. Now, I think Sessegnon is also probably a better wing back than maybe just a defensive left back. So, and then you've got your free players at the back in that sort of back sort of free. And if you can get your left-sided centre back in there. And you could even, this is where someone, dare I say it, like Ben Davies is actually quite useful. Because, don't have him in your first team, but if you come to
might do a job.
Yeah, exactly. We've got injuries. We need a centre back. He plays there. So this is the sort of thing.
And like Ellie said too, maybe you might agree with this, Brad. Maybe Davies, as Mr. Anonymous himself, might love being anonymous on the bench, for a couple of weeks, where he might just miss his name, might even forget he exists for a while. I mean, what do you think? Is Ben Davies? You can answer this quickly, and then David can ask you one. Do you think Ben Davies is kind of one of those ones where he actually might give you an 8 out of 10 if he gets 2 weeks off in between, something like that?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, all I will say about Ben Davies was that in the season at Wembley, when Danny Rose was injured, he had the most assists for a fullback in the league that year. So he's no mug, but as I say, you're not going to win Premier Leagues. Well, not going to win Premier League anyway, but I don't think you're going to win things with if that's your core first team. Yeah, have him as a player that comes in every now and again when there are injuries or you need to rest players.
Right.
So I would probably keep him. Just on that basis that he's sitting on the bench. There you go. We've got someone to bring in a various positions. Players like Sissoko, I don't see the point of him anymore. I just he was great.
But do you not find it more concerning that Ben Davies is here longer than Sissoko, and he's still a backup player?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. Yeah. I guess he's been here a long time because he joined us when he was fairly young. So that would sort of whereas Sissoko was heading
joined
towards
us near his prime,
27, 28,
whatever his prime was. I don't know. I don't want to guess what that was.
The one season, I think that was his prime. But but
100%. But look, Brad, we do have to crack on, my man. So we do. We do have to crack on. We have a few people waiting, and we do have to be off by 9 because we have Jack's answer me at 9:30. But look, Brad, absolutely brilliant as always, my man. Absolutely top notch.
Fantastic answer.
Enjoyed it again. Brilliant. I'll see you.
And Brad, look, before we go, maybe give everyone a quick message on why they should support Nuno.
Well, for a start, obvious, but you have to give the guy a chance. The guy has done. I mean, his record at Wolves was good. He got Wolves up from the Championship, got him into the Premiership, got top 7 twice or whatever it was. Got him to the quarter-final, the semi-final of the Europa League. He did well with Valencia. I think with Porto he did pretty well. So he's obviously had some sort of form of, I won't say success, but progress. So you've got to give him a chance. We go there to support the team. We don't go there to support the owners or Levy or that. We go there to support the team. And it's no use saying, don't want him. You don't know, do you? I didn't really know. I didn't when Pochettino joined us. I thought, oh, really?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what's this guy? And the rest is history. But so yeah, for anyone over there that's got any doubts, let's give him a season. Let's see how he goes. He signed the 2-year contract, which I think is what they're all doing these days. But he's only actually spent time at clubs for small amounts of times as well. And there's a video on YouTube called The Coach's Chair or something from 2017. And he is always looking at the next level, as I said before, to go up to that next level and improve. So, hey, you've got to give him a chance.
And quickly, do you think he would look better in a flat cap than the cone picker-upper himself, Arteta?
It's got to be done, isn't it? We got.
Yeah, I think you look much better in one. Yeah, we'll send him a flat cap.
No, look, I'll send him one on behalf of the Harris Army and welcome him to Tottenham. But Brad, absolutely awesome as always, my man. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you back here for the next one.
Thank you, Brad.
No problems. See you later, guys.
Thank you, Brad.
See you, my man. That's Brad, absolutely brilliant as always. Very insightful and very balanced opinions as well. Big up, Brad. We do have a super chat here from Aglaya, aka Ellie. She says, "Oh my God, so fabulous coming on your show, David. Love to be a regular, and I'll bring the female flavour. Here's a bit to help help the great work you do and to get the tubs of your favourite flavour of Ben and Jerry's. Also to buy Heiberg's on too. Nah, look, I really do appreciate it. It was absolutely great to get the face behind the name. You know, it's brilliant. It's what we do here at the Irish Hotspur. Anyone that, you know, has never felt comfortable around and doing it before, you know, we seem to be able to unearth them here. So look, fair play to you, and hopefully many people can follow your example. Jack, were you delighted with Ellie today?
Oh, Ellie was fantastic, David. Fantastic debut as well. Also, like I was just daydreaming of like an Ellie Højbjerg, you know, kind of Ben and Jerry's flavor mashup, David. You know, maybe something with a Viking, you know, in the punchline as well. You know, Ellie's Viking, you know, crunch or something like that. You know, a bit of cookie dough, a bit of other things in there, maybe a bit of Danish waffle cookie. You know, it'd just be brilliant, David. But yeah, Ellie was just fantastic, and she's always so generous to us as well. Generous with her time as well today, and you know, coming on and being a member, but also has always been like here, David, just so incredibly generous to us.
100%. And Ellie, don't worry, we'll get you into being a regular at some stage. Don't worry about that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You're absolute. So kind, too generous. I really do appreciate it. Everybody else, you know, make sure you do smash a like on the stream, subscribe on the channel, be like Ellie. You know, get your super chats in, help support the channel, help it grow. And look, I understand that not everybody's in that position, you know, financially and stuff like that. So we will keep getting up everybody's comments as best as we can. So keep the comments coming in, guys. Let us know what you think of Nuno. But look, it's time to bring on the next guest. And the next guest is Mr. Joe Grimes. Then we have the Yid Kid. Then we have Phillip. Then we have Kerrion. And then we're going to leave it there. But look, let's bring on the man himself. Another great Irish man from great stock. How are you keeping, Joe?
Evening, Jack, David. How are you, lads?
Big up, Joe.
We're all good. But come here, Joe. What's your thoughts on Nuno, my man?
Look, it's just happy to get a manager now. To be honest, I was getting pretty desperate. To be honest,
yeah,
I would have taken Mickey Mouse at this stage now. So I'm just happy to have a manager to come in. So yeah, it wasn't my first choice. Not gonna lie. If you asked me 1 or 2 months ago about Nuno, I probably would have said nah, not for me. But look, this is Paratici's choice, and it's good that he got to make the decision himself, and Levy took a step back. So yeah, so it's positive.
Completely agree, Joe.
100%.
Considering the recent, you know, managerial rumors, who would you have taken? Would you have taken, you know, the wise, you know, Nuno, or would you have taken maybe, you know, Harry Potter, or would you have taken maybe Fonseca? Those are obviously the 3 kind of recent ones we've been rumored with. Which one would you have taken, maybe, if you had the choice?
Like, I was kind of sold on Fonseca when we nearly got that over the line, and then that all fell apart. But yeah, we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel now towards the end of this managerial hunt. So Nuno's probably the best of that bunch, better than Harry Potter and Sky Parker and Roberto Martinez, those kind of guys. So yeah, happy enough with Nuno for the moment, anyways.
And now, is there anybody, you know, that from the Wolves team? Have you seen a lot of Wolves? Is there anybody from the Wolves team that maybe, you know, maybe you would like to, you know, Nuno take with him, you know, in his maybe magical sack, or would you rather, you know, maybe someone kind of replicate one of those roles in the team, you know, that's already in our Spurs squad?
Yeah, the first name just went is Pedro Neto. We're crying out for a right winger now with
we are
with Gareth Bale leaving and possibly Eric Mella going as well. So even before Nuno was coming in, I was banging the drum about Pedro Neto and how much of a great prospect he is, and he's already Premier League proven, and he's just a top quality young player. Ruben Neves also as well is a great midfielder in form of a great partnership with Højbjerg if we get him in. But yeah, those two would definitely be the first 2 names that come to mind for me, anyways. 2 quality players.
And come here, William McKenzie, Joe, is saying it's great to see you on again. So big yourself up, William. Absolutely love that. Glad to be back. And Brian C. Actually, when are you going to come on, my man? When are you going to come on? That's what I want next. I want Brian C to come on. I've already met him, but I want to see him come on. That's what I want, Joe, don't we? We want Brian C on that. Another good Irish man.
Yeah, there you go, Brian. Now you've been called out. You have to come on now.
That's it. But Joe, come here. Now, Nuno's agent. What's the guy's name?
George Mendes.
George Mendes.
Jorge Mendes. Nuno and Paratici. Do you think they could all work together? And maybe we could start seeing some quality players coming to Tottenham?
I hope so, but the last two George Mendes signings, Jedson and Carlos Vinicius, the less said about them, those lads, the better, to be honest. So I don't know. I'm 50-50 now on this kind of partnership being drawn up, but hopefully that he does have some quality clients and some bad ones as well. So hopefully a few of the good ones can come to us, not because we've already got the two of the worst ones anyways.
But maybe, Joe, I'll just give you a bit of optimism here. Apparently, George Mendes and Nuno, they're like really good buddies. I think they even met, in some like kind of Portuguese dance club or something like that, kind of they might have been dancing together, side by side, and, just got it on a little bit and then figured out, they also like football as well on top of dancing. And I mean, what do you make of this? Maybe that means that George might give him, a bit of the better crop.
Yeah, because
of his agents, maybe not, might not just give him might not leave him with the Viniciuses of the world, say like, believe me, you don't want that, I got something better for you.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Jack. Because
I mean, ideally,
he got Ruben Neves to go to the championship,
right?
Fair, yeah. So hopefully a couple of gems from Mendes and go a long way towards rebuilding the squad, but. There's also Paratici has good links to Serie A and across Europe, so
that's fair.
There's a couple of Italian lads that are
speaking of Serie A, Joe. Now this guy's not Italian; he's Japanese. What do you make of Tomiyasu, the guy from Bologna? The right back. Tottenham put in a bid today. Now, of course, it was not back. Now they are going to end up arguing over a bit of money, but. From what I've been told, Spurs are all out for this guy. They really do want him. So, what do you make of this guy? Do you think he can come in and improve the squad?
I can't tell you that because I've never seen him play.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Like Danny Rose, not
a Bologna fan. Not a Bologna fan.
End up, yeah, Danny. We'll call him Joe Rose. So we will. He'll have to start googling people.
Googling players.
So we will.
You can say like Paratici knows this guy. He's seen him a number of times from encounters with Bologna, so hopefully he's a decent player. He's pretty young as well. He's only 22. He's only 22 years old, so quite a potential there to grow. So
maybe he caught Fabio's eye. Good point.
Yeah, hopefully it can be a good sign for us. We have to start somewhere, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And come here, Joe. What players at Tottenham do you think maybe that didn't have a future at Tottenham that maybe now you think Nuno could work with and get more out of them this season?
Matt Doherty, of course. Anyways, Nuno knows Matt Doherty inside out. So, I think that he knows the player as well. I think we need to sign right back. Anyways, we need an upgrade on Doherty, maybe Max Aarons or something like that, or this Tomiyasu guy coming in. Cause it looks like Ayer's leaving, but Matt Doherty the first name comes to mind, and then the other wing backs, Reggie and Sessegnon, could definitely if we're playing that three at the back system, that those two guys could flourish for us. And hopefully Giovanni Lo Celso and Nobel, we can get a tune out of them boys next season, please God.
Yeah, I hope so too. What sort of formation do you think we can expect to see under Nuno coming into the season?
It's hard to know. It all depends on who we sign, to be honest. I know Paratici wanted to play kind of a three at the back.
Right.
That was his kind of idea of building the team, but Nuno's played four at the back last season for Wolves, and he's been pretty adaptive throughout his career in Valencia. He played 4-3-3 or something like that. So it's hard to know. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully we can mix it up depending on who we're playing, so we can adapt to the opposition and have a number of ways to play if we need to sit back and counter attack teams. So be it. But then, if we can just beat the opposition, go out and attack them like we didn't do last season. At times.
Yeah. Is that what you're most looking forward to, Joe? Is seeing us maybe play on the front foot again?
Yeah, that's most important.
Because I know you were becoming very upset with how we were playing last season.
Yeah, I was getting sick of the dross I was watching now, to be honest. It's very frustrating to watch it. That's my only worry about Nuno coming in the last couple of weeks, but it seems that they've come to some sort of agreement that there will be a bit more of a attacking football. But in saying that though, with these players, some of the players we have, we can't play that kind of football that we want to see. So it's just about getting some of these players out and bringing in players that adapt to our way of playing. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. You know, can I just ask Joe maybe one quickly, David?
No, work away. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you know, Joe, let's say we just get stuck with maybe that Nuno kind of 3-5-2. You know, obviously maybe Højbjerg gets in, and then we need someone next to Højbjerg who also would work a little bit, you know, defensively. That third maybe right central mid position could be maybe Gio, could be Tanguy, could be Dele. It could be somebody. Who would you like it to be?
Obviously, someone like Marcel Sabitzer.
As well. Someone we could get from the market
would be perfect for that kind of that slot in midfield. The way he's so what's the word? It's dynamic and flexible. He can play in a number of different positions in that midfield. So hopefully we can get someone like him in. But
he runs up and down as well. Like he's not only he's a number 10, but you know he's willing to run back and put in a 2-footer or whatever it may be.
Yeah, he's a mix of like a 6 and an 8 and a 10. So he's just a top class player. But I can see Højbjerg really flourishing under Nuno. He's definitely my player of the tournament anyways for the Euros. Has to be.
Maybe even Sabitzer as well. Sabitzer as well might even light a spark at least under somebody. You know, at least under Tanguy, at least under Gio, or under Dele, because Sabitzer can do they can do everything that they can do. You know, and then on top of the work rate. So maybe, they would actually, get a little scared, and actually realize themselves, they would actually maybe have to do something.
Yeah, we need to shake up this midfield anyways because it's just not good. It's just not it. It's not it, this midfield.
No, 100%. And look, that was actually more along the lines of question that I was actually going to ask him. So it's a good question, Jack.
You should have took it away from David.
What about Locatelli? Do you think we have a chance maybe picking him up?
No, I'd love to get Locatelli. Yeah. He's an absolute baller. But I think Arsenal in talks to sign him.
They're in talks to sign half the world, lad.
Yeah, well, I suppose they're looking at James Maddison and periods to that as well, but that's not really going to happen. They're away with the fairies, I suppose. Who they're going to sign. It would be great to. Yeah, he'd be top quality as well. Berardi, the right winger for Italy, is a top class player as well. Look, I've seen him over the last couple of weeks. Absolutely great player. Lorenzo Pellegrini from Roma is another quality midfielder that I like. So. Yeah,
we've also been rumored with Kessié from Frank Kessié from Milan. Maybe if you had the choice, maybe between Locatelli and Kessié, who would you rather have?
Probably Locatelli because I've seen more of Locatelli. But Kessie's a quality midfielder as well. He's kind of similar enough to Thomas Partey, right? Kind of destroyer who can play a bit as well.
Also get up and down,
Yeah.
I'm
kind of not really. I'm not getting drawn too much into transfers now because I'm still scarred from the Dybala transfer a couple of years ago, so I'm not getting too excited.
It might even happen again. The PTSD might come up again this season, Joe. I'm sorry, just it's going to happen.
I've seen Kunde, I've seen Skriniar. It's like, no, I'm not getting sucked in again. No way.
No, I love it. But look, Joe, we do have to crack on. We have a few more people waiting. But look, before you go, I want to know, do you think it's coming home? And second of all, leave a little message on why people need to back Nuno.
Right.
First of all, it's not coming home. I've put my neck on the line here. It's not coming home.
Love it.
I think England will slip up against Denmark or the Czech Republic in the semi-final, and they're not going to be whoever's on the other side of the draw either, be it Belgium or Italy, or Spain even, and. With regards to backing Nuno, just back the guy. It's a new chapter. If we're going to keep, I could have just sat back and gave out as I have been the last few months and just go against everything that the club was doing. But I'll have to get behind this guy and direct the anger towards the board and not to Nuno.
Can I deputize you as a Ukrainian fan this weekend, Joe? Can I, Joe Gremlenko maybe?
Gremlenko sounds very nice, yeah. Also, I just want to say one thing to David. Best of luck on Sunday as well, David, in the Offaly Kildare match. and may the best team win. It should be a good game. It was a good game last year as well, so hopefully myself and David we're good rivals for 70 minutes.
Do you know what? It's sad that we've gone that bad that we're down to Offaly's level now. You know, it is that sad that we're on that level with Offaly, because we did used to be better than that. But no, look, it'd be a cracker game, and look, may the best team win. You know, I'll definitely be watching it, because you can buy it off the Kildare GAA website. So I'll buy that. I'll definitely be watching it, and expect the message or two.
Yeah, it's pity we can't go to it, but anyways, hopefully maybe next year, lad. Maybe next year.
Big up, Joe.
Yeah, maybe next year. But look, Joe, if you're ever down in Newbridge, man, give me a shout, my man.
Will do, David. Yeah, all of it. Yeah, 100%.
Big up, Joe. Big up, Joe. Thank you for meeting at Gremalenko this weekend. I also appreciate it. You know, thanks for letting me deputize you. Yeah,
Gremalenko, and then it could be a different surname after that with the next team to play. But hopefully they're getting knocked out this again.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Right.
Is David frozen there?
Looks like it, but
well, big up though, Joe. You know, I do appreciate it. And is there any, maybe any last words, anything you want to say? Maybe I'll ask you. I mean, what do you think? Would Nuno look? How do you think Nuno would look in the flat cap?
Yeah, I think he'd look kind of like a gangster with the beard and
that's right.
The flat cap. He might look a bit
and maybe also
old school kind of.
And I'm going to release a question early, maybe just quickly as well. Do you think Nuno might actually have maybe the best beard, maybe of all managers in the Premier League?
Yeah, it's pretty tidy now.
Maybe against Klopp, against Klopp or Guardiola.
I think Nuno's is better because it's thicker, but he keeps the line very well.
Right.
But, I'm not really much of a beard expert now.
I mean, I'm not. Neither am I.
My beard game's pretty weak, but yeah.
Well, we got to improve it, for Nuno's sake. We got to prove it for Nuno's sake. Big up, Joe. Thanks for having us. Big up. I think something happened to Dave technologically, so I am going to add on Phillip, and I do hope, Phillip, that David is going to be joining us later. How you doing, Phillip? I mean, Nuno.
How are you?
Not bad. I'm not bad.
I have to get dressed here.
You got to look proper, son.
I've got to look properly attired.
No, well, you already become 10 times smarter, believe me, and you start to talk like David, I think, as well, the moment you put on the flat cap. But
oh yeah, absolutely, become a Harris clone.
Start thinking like Harris. What do you? I mean, it's whatever it was, some ridiculous amount of days, 70 odd days, 75 days, through the desert of managerial hunt. How do you feel? That it's Nuno.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was kind of trying to distance myself from the whole thing because, I mean, it was getting so ridiculous, all the names being bandied about and the farce of a selection process by Levy. Now that he's in situ and having watched his first interview last night, I'm beginning to say, yeah, this might work.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, I was thinking, is that speech coming from the heart? Or was he handed the speech 5 minutes before he went on TV, I suppose we'll never know that. But no, I think he touched the right nerves, the DNA, the looking after getting the young lads involved. So, yeah, I mean, listen, we're like it or lump it, he's there. He's our manager. How long he lasts, 2-year contract, would lead you to believe there's somebody else lined up in 2 years' time, be it Poch or whoever.
Right.
No. But I thought the funniest thing I saw today was somebody put up a picture of Nuno Santos after 6 months managing Spurs, and it was a picture of Uncle Albert out of Only Fools and Horses.
I mean, Phillip, you might agree with me here. To be honest, I think like being a Spurs manager, it's like it's like the presidency over here. It just ages you rapidly, probably. And I'm a little worried. The beard might be completely gray. By maybe even the end of the season, instead of having that nice, in between, dark and gray, just for men kind of look.
When he sees Harry Winks, it might be grey by the end of next week.
Now, maybe speaking of Harry Winks, Phillip here, I mean, is there anybody that you think that maybe Nuno, you might just regret Nuno giving a second chance to?
Well, I think now I was listening to the discussion earlier there about Dele Alli. I have a sneaking suspicion Dele Alli was badly hurt. His pride was badly hurt by a lot of things that happened over the last couple of seasons, but especially missing out on the England squad for the Euros. Now, he's been back in the gym early this season, trying to get into shape. So I would think this is a make or break season for Dele Alli, and I have a sneaking suspicion we might be pleasantly surprised.
I hope so.
If his mind is right, if his mind is in the right place.
Pleasantly surprised with a haircut as well, maybe along with the muscles.
Well, yeah, I suppose, although he'll probably come back now tattooed from head to foot or something.
Yeah, probably. Just quickly, did we get that other super chat from Aglaia?
Oh no, sorry, David. Yeah, let me pull it up. I do apologize.
I just grabbed it up there now. Sorry about that, guys. Just had a short power outage there, but we're back there now again.
I can pull it up right here. Yeah,
sorry about this, Philip. I tried to get out of the way before you come on. Sorry about that, man.
And sorry for blocking your face also as well, Philip. And also Aglaia, very, very generous, very, very generous Aglaia, or Ellie, I apologize. And she says, I'd really love to get Marquinhos from PSG, David. He's a fantastic player. And Eric Torsvet from Genk, or maybe that's what she means?
From Genk. Yeah,
from Genk. Have you seen him? He's awesome. Love Neto and Neves and perhaps Jimenez if we lose Kane, as they are three great talents. Yeah, all three of those, like I said, maybe Nuno's bringing a little magic sack with him. He's bringing Neto and Neves in there, maybe throwing, a third one, maybe Podence or maybe the Moutinho as well. But David, I'm actually defeated here by Ellie. Eric Torsvet, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, no, he's an up-and-coming prospect. Philip, do you know who he is?
Well, I know Eric Torsvet is, but is he a goalkeeper or is he an outfield player?
I think he's outfield player.
Yeah. No, I mean Eric the Viking, he was a great goalkeeper for us back in the end of the 80s.
The Norwegian.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. No, fair dues. I mean, I'll tell you though, I know
Big up
hasn't exactly pulled up any trees since he came to Spurs. But the fact that his ex-boss is back with him now, it could be a rebirth for Matt Doherty. And if he could bring Jimenez in, that would be one hell of a signing because he is a class act up front.
I do love Jimenez. I do love Jimenez as well, Philip. I will say, a bit of background, just on him. He's definitely one of those guys that, he's definitely very good, but he will fight. He does seem to also like a bit of a physical challenge as well. He's from a very, 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 just poor part of Mexico, outside of Mexico City, so I do really rate him, just he's had an incredible story to be able to, I think, get to Europe, to be able to be that talented and be noticed in a place like that is very hard. And he's also, he's like 6'3", tall lad, good, strong, handsome face as well. I think he'd be brilliant, sell a lot of jerseys.
He knows what the goal is as well, so
he does. Oh, and he's also got a good celebration on him. I think he's very passionate, good in the air. I mean, that would be great. I mean, what do you make, though? Do you think he can return from the head injury like he did?
I hope so.
You hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he would. But I suppose it'd be bittersweet there because if we get Jimenez, we lose Harry Kane probably. We're not going to have the two of them together at the same club.
No, yeah.
I don't think.
100%. The only thing is with Jimenez as well is that concussion. We don't know how he's going to return yet either. So we do have to be careful on that. I just want to say, Ellie, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. You're so generous. And Dermot, new channel member as well. Big yourself up. Dermot. What a legend.
Good to see you, Dermot.
And everyone else, feel free to get in your super chats or that. But sorry, Philip.
No, I was going to say that if he got a few preseason games under his belt with Wolves just to see how he's faring, and then nab him before the transfer deadline's up, rather than take a chance on him straight away. Yeah, Raul. Yeah, that's another. Like Wolves, it was the season before last. I think I heard on one of your earlier shows there, David. Wolves played us off the pitch a few times.
Yeah,
and they really did. Even though they mightn't have beaten us. Okay, they beat us 3-2 last season. I remember at home. But no, I think our new boy. Let's give him a chance. I think he's got. Let's put it like this: he's better than some of the names that were mentioned. I had a dream one night that Sam Allardyce was appointed manager. That's the bad things we're getting, and the fact that he knows the Premiership, he's going to hit the ground running. Not like Fonseca, who would have to take a while to bed in. So yeah, I mean, quietly confident. That's the best way you could put it. And it's up to him now to go in and sort out who stays, who goes, lay down the law straight away, and clear out the deadwood.
What players do you think he will get rid of, Philip?
Well, I think Villa are interested in Winks, so I would say Winks will go.
God, that would be the saintly job by them.
Probably. Sissoko, I think.
I'll actually hire a limousine to get him down there. I'm not even messing.
David, I don't even think, especially if the villains, if the villains were to take Winks off of us, I mean, we would just honestly have to take at least 6 months, where we would honestly, have to give them the utmost respect for, it's like taking your trash away, David. It's like the neighbor, coming up, say, oh, I know you're a little busy this weekend, let me get your recycling, let me get your cans, let me get your, your garbage. It really would be like that, David. So honestly, I would be absolutely up in the villains, really, really actually, up to them.
Spurs could make football history on that transfer. They could actually pay him.
It would be absolutely Christmas come early. It would be absolute Christmas come early.
Do you know what? I don't hear the Villa chairman coming out saying we can't sign Harry Winks for 30 million because, of losses, this, that, and the other. But Daniel Levy does it. It's amazing that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the Villa chairman is a progressive guy. He's got a bit of foresight to him. He knows he's put his money where his mouth is in close season. He's bought a couple of players already, I think,
Yeah, and then once they survived relegation, ever since then,
like whether he can hold on. I say if he holds on to Grealish, then there'll be a team, fairly. They'll be pushing for Europe next season. If Grealish goes, then because Winks could replace him, forgot about that. Anyway,
if Winks does end up going to Villa, Grealish is gone.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've heard that deal for Grealish to City is already done. And it's waiting to be announced after the Euros.
100 million. Yeah, something else.
Winks would be upset. He's still chasing his cologne and his hair, David. He'd be very upset. He'd be right on the trail, and then once he gets,
I'm sure Jack will leave a little reminder in the locker for him. At the end of his spray bottle or something like that. And a few hair tips for him on a notepad. You never know.
Yeah. Another player I think will go. Now I have to say I always like this guy, even though he'd be taking bets on when's he going to get his yellow card. Is Eric Lamela. I mean, he might not have a right foot. He might not know when to pass, but by God, that guy has passion for the club. When he comes on, he runs his heart out. Okay, usually into a brick wall, but I think he'll probably go as well. He's had 8 years, long enough. And other than that, I mean, we've got Oliver Skip coming in, who I think could do a job. Maybe allow Højbjerg to move slightly forward and Skip sit in behind him, and. The young lads, Dane Scarlett is going to have an influence this season, I think, as well. I don't know what to make of Troy Parrott, David. I really don't know. I think the guy he's more interested in the company he keeps than his footballing skills. I
know the company he keeps isn't exactly the greatest. I'm sure you know who I'm about, Philip, but it's not exactly the greatest company. Look, do you know what, Philip? With Troy Parrott, although it was against Moldova, or whoever that was we played there not so long ago.
Andorra, yeah.
Andorra, that's the one. Although it was even worse, but although it was Andorra, he did score the 2 goals, and he was the only player on the pitch that grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and really went for it. Now, if he can use that going into every game, there's definitely a player in there. See, the problem is with him, he's still good to play under 23s, but he's not fully developed yet. So which makes men's football a bit harder for him. So it's hard to know what sort of player he'll end up.
Yeah. I wonder will they send him out on loan again? Maybe get another season in the Championship. I know he only scored 1 goal for Ipswich he was with, but, maybe another season might beef him up a bit and get him used to the rough and tumble,
I think he was at Birmingham or QPR or something.
He was with Millwall, then he went to Ipswich.
Millwall, that's right. He was with Millwall and then went to Ipswich, right?
But you know what the difference between Scarlett and Parrott is? So we've seen Parrott a couple of times make, play for the senior team. And he was almost lost in the game. But Scarlett has made a couple of appearances off the bench, and it's the runs he makes, which, you can't really teach, which means because he makes such intelligent runs, he's never in a position where he has to try and use his physical strength.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he gets away with it.
Yeah. True. And, there's another young lad who came on and scored against Marine in the Cup is Alfie Devine. He's another one that could step in under the radar as well, That's if Nuno does his thing and does bring on the young players. Because he likes to work with a tight squad. He doesn't want to go for a massive big... Like, I'd say he could be using 20 players this season, maybe no more than that, Injuries, of course,
Well, he was used to using a tight squad at Wolves. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
That bodes well. That bodes well. But Philip, what do you hope he can take from Wolves and bring to Tottenham?
Well, we talked about my what do you call him? Jim Jimenez. He'd be the one I'd take first of all. And I'll tell you who I'd also take if Hugo Lloris's future is a little bit suspect is the Wolves goalkeeper, Rui Patricio. Yeah, bring him.
I think he's gone to Roma. I think he might be going where Jose is.
Although that goal he did concede in the Euros knockout from one of the Belgium, was it Belgium? I think it was Belgium. Yeah. You know, he should have saved it. That was poor.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, I suppose
But every keeper has them, don't they?
Everyone does. Yeah.
Philip,
I'd say Wolves will be trying their best to hang on to their players because they lose too many players this close season. They could be struggling next year unless they've got replacements coming in. You know.
Good point. Look, me personally, I don't actually see Tottenham probably signing anyone from Wolves. I really don't. It's very rare you see a club get a manager and get a player from that team. I know it happened with Chelsea and Sarri and Jorginho, but look at the money they ended up paying for the guy. You know, and Tottenham are not going to pay that money. Philip, you're very popular, so we have a couple of super chats here to get through, and then I'm sure Jack has a question or two for you. Dermot Miles says we all need to get behind Nuno. Yes, Levy and Enoch need to go, but we all need to back the team. But what he did at Wolves was great. Wolves, great show. No, 100% what you done at Wolves. I agree with you, Dermot, and 100% we have to get fully behind Nuno. You know, look, no matter what people's qualms are with Levy, and obviously we want Levy and Enoch out and stuff like that, but don't direct that at Nuno at the end of the day. So we have to get behind him and back him. Big up, Dermot. Really do appreciate
it. Good to see you, Dermot. And also Dermot, a new member as well, David. You know, really good to have you, Dermot. Really good to have you. Thanks for your support, Dermot. Absolute
legend, of course. And Brian C's, and Dermot, I hope to see you on the next fan show, my man. Brian C says, lads, do you think that as Nuno's Wolves teams gave us a lot of trouble, that he had targeted our weak players tactically, so he knows well who he needs to get out? Question is, how fast can he do it? Brian C, absolute great question. Right. I want to say thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Really do appreciate it. And I'm going to give this one to Philip, but I'm just going to take it down off the screen so we can actually see him.
Yeah, it's a good point, that, because I mean, Nuno. Great point. It's a very good point because obviously these guys, they keep their notes. They have their computer printouts of who did what, who didn't do what. He's going to know that. Okay, you go down the right wing, and Serge Aurier, he's likely to fall over his shoelaces as the winger goes by him. He's going to know all these things. So yes, I would think now that he will have a good idea who can do a job for him and who he knows he doesn't want to have at the club. So I would say that will happen fairly quickly as well, because we don't have much time. I mean, the first preseason friendly's on the 17th, I think.
Is that maybe the unexpected benefit of like a Premier League kind of experienced manager, do you think, Philip?
Absolutely.
Just because,
as I said, Fonseca would have come in and probably taken, 2 days to work out how to get to the ground. At least Nuno's been there before. He knows where to get to it. And, no language difficulty. He's not going to show up with his tube ticket like Christian Gross did. I think in hindsight it could be proven wrong in time, but it looks like it's a good appointment, good solid appointment, something that we need. Get a bit of stability into the club, get the deadwood out, get a couple of new players in if he can, if Levy will give him the money, and let's see where we go. We've got to get back in. If not the top 4 this season, we've got to get into the top 6. That's got to be our minimum goal. And anything more than that would be a bonus. A cup would be a bonus. This Conference League thing that we're in, we've got to be the favourites in that, or one of the favourites anyway, So hopefully he takes it seriously as well,
100%. 100%. Jack, have you any questions before we let Philip go and get the last 2 guests on?
Oh, I just had it in my head, David, but I'm going to try to remember it just now, and I knew it was going to be a good one for Philip. But maybe, What were you going to say, David?
Yeah, just while you remember it, just while you're taking time to remember, I just want to say that was an absolute phenomenal question by Brian C.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, an absolute cracking question, I have to say. And I fully agree. That he obviously did target Tottenham's weak players. I think a lot of managers did last season, and he definitely knows who he needs to get out. Great point, Brian. I have to say. Absolute brilliant point. But sorry, Jack. Do you remember the question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Philip, according, to a lot of sources, apparently, Nuno, he actually has a bit more of a hands-on approach, right, with his training methods. He's actually a bit more like, personal, even with the players, maybe kind of what Poch was, right, where he's actually maybe on the ground, really, in the players' faces, telling them where to go, where to be. And this kind of fosters maybe a bit of a better relationship. Do you think, though, that maybe this kind of coaching status or maybe this type of coaching style will actually maybe rid out kind of that culture that we have where it's, like, oh, sorry, boss, I couldn't make it this week. The washing machine, didn't have enough, bleach in it, the microwave's not working properly. Sorry, boss, I had to come in late today. Do you think he might actually rid out that culture by just being a bit more hands-on?
I do. And I also think, I think you'll agree, the fitness levels of the team last season at times was a disgrace.
Right. It was a disgrace.
Disgraceful. It was not up to Pochettino standard. We were not after 75 minutes. That's how we conceded so many late goals. Now, I don't know who the backroom team is. I don't know whether he's keeping Leslie King.
I'd say he will.
You might need to keep Leslie as kind of coordination between the past and the present and the future. But I'm sure he's going to bring in his own goalkeeping coach. He's going to bring in his own fitness guys. And those guys have to get the Poch type of training regime into those players. And don't let them slack. I mean, give them double training sessions, get them fit, because if they don't, we're going to fall further behind.
We might even need to give our own. I agree with you. I think we need to get his whatever training guys are. Might even need to have his training guys train our own training. Train our own trainers. Have our own trainers do laps with them. Because it seems like they're practically also maybe given the likes of Ronald McDonald, too many. They're just probably saying, no, you can finish your laps, next week, Tonki, it's okay, oh, no, Deli, it's okay. The press ups, you don't have to do the press ups, Deli, or oh, no, Stinksy always gets to go home early, things like that.
Make them do it and ban Ndombele from going within half a mile of a McDonald's. Engine zone around North London. If he's seen there, pick up the phone, ring Nuno. Yeah. He's here again, boss.
Nuno should get an alert every time. He's getting an alert on his phone.
Ringing on his phone every time Ndombele goes to KFC.
Even drives by one. Even drives by one.
Keeps it up, he'll be the new Ronald McDonald in all the ads. We already call him Ronald McDonald, so he's not too far away from working for McDonald's.
If he can get him properly fit and trim, he's a hell of a player. We all know that, but he's just not potential. He's not fulfilling his potential now, But anyway, listen, I'm more confident. I've got a bit of a spring in my step now, which I didn't have up to yesterday afternoon. So let's go. I mean, the season's here. When we gluttons for punishment, we'll be back again this time next year, probably saying, "Oh God, that was typical Spurs." But hopefully not. Get a cup or two in the bag and onwards and upwards, and come on, you Spurs.
Absolutely.
Come on, big up, Phillip. That's what I love to say. And in the words of Phillip, I've got pep in me step. Come on, let's go. What more do you want? Phillip, before I do let you go, do you want to tell everyone what we're doing tomorrow? Yeah,
we're doing the 1980s in the history show by the grey-haired gang, and it should be interesting because there's a lot of interesting stuff come out of that decade, being winning cups, which is a lot of people have not had the pleasure of doing recently.
Sounds foreign.
There's a lot of financial stuff, a lot of skullduggery going on in the boardroom, and there's Paul Gascoigne.
So, love it.
There you are. What more do you want, guys? So make sure you tune in for that tomorrow.
Isn't it, Dave? Half nine tomorrow night?
Yeah, 9:30 tomorrow. So everybody, make sure you tune in. Like Phillip says, the grey-haired gang. It's Phillip, it's Arthur, and it's Simon. I absolutely love the show, and I'm sure you guys will too. So make sure you tune in. Phillip, absolute legend. I love when you come on, man. I appreciate it, and I hope to see a lot more of you throughout the future of this channel.
No problem, David. Good night. See you, Jack.
Big up, Phillip. Thank you, Phillip.
See you, Phillip.
Bye.
Big yourself up, my man. Big yourself up. What an absolute legend. But look, Jack, we do have a few super chats to get to before we bring on the next guest. Aglaya Kakaras, aka Ellie, says Eric Thorsveld's son is Christian Thorsveld. He is an attacking midfielder at Genk. It was the Bun who mentioned him, so I was watching. He's fantastic and scores goals for fun, and he's only 22. Come on, Paratici, get the talented lad in. Yeah, look, I agree with you. I've had a look at myself. I do think he is talented. Is it a bit of a step up? I suppose who knows until you take the chance. But for me, for me, I think we need to be bringing in the proven players right now to, you know, get a foothold on next season, and then maybe we can start bringing these guys in, and giving them a chance to settle in. What do you think, Jack?
At least I just got to pick up Ellie because David, you know, this is a player I had never heard of, and you know, Danny had heard of them. So you learn something from the Flat Cap Army every day. You learn something from the Harris Army every day. They have plenty to teach us. So big up Ellie. I've never heard of this player. You know, maybe I might look him up on FIFA. You know, maybe late tonight or you know something like that. See what it looks like. You know, and you know maybe look at you know a bit of the Brazil scout as well on YouTube. See a bit of the highlights. You know, see a bit of the techers on display. But, you know, big up Ellie, you know, really, I've never heard of this player and supposedly plenty others have. And so I'm really happy that, you know, they're able to teach me, you know, and show me a bit of what's going on in Belgium.
No, 100%. And again, Ellie, too generous. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Absolute great comment. And another super chat from Ellie. Thank you so much. It says, who's your tip to win the Euros, lads? I want Denmark if England don't make it again. Look at what's left. I want Denmark. I do want Denmark to win it. I'll be honest with you. That's who I want. Jack?
Yeah, no, I think David and I, you know, we're going to be deputizing ourselves as, you know, Ukrainians this weekend. But David and I, the Danish, the Vikings, these are the ones that David and I actually do have faith in actually beating the English here. The English, they haven't come up against the Danish. They have come up against the Czechs. So I am a little worried if the Czechs were to beat the Danish, you know, the English might beat the Czechs again. But they haven't come up against the Vikings. So, you know, that will also be brilliant to see, you know, the Harris Army dressing up in Vikings, you know, getting on, you know, their skull, right, David? You know, a bit of the Viking helmets as well. It'll be glorious.
100%. Yeah, I really want it for Højbjerg. And, you know, I just have a sneaky suspicion that they could do it. You know, to have that bit of grit and determination behind them. I just have that sneaky suspicion they will do it. And then Danny Kyriakou says here, big up Ellie, Brad, Joe, Phillip. Saw an article and Dean Windass was saying that Villa may go for Dele Alli for 50 to 60 million if Grealish goes. If we could get that, I'd put him in the pram and take him there myself. Yeah, look, I'd take it as well. Look, Dele Alli's career could end up a bit like Ross Barkley's, to be honest with you. You know, where he had that plateau, he got his move to Chelsea, never really, you know, made the most of it. And, you know, now he's at Villa and stuff like that on loan. And so, look, Dele Alli, if he's not careful, he could go down that Ross Barkley route. But, yeah, I'd definitely let him go for that. Jack, what about you, man?
Oh, David, absolutely let him go for that. Absolutely, David. I mean, I wouldn't even, like you said, David, I might as well just, you know, hire the limousine myself. Might as well, you know, hire a driver. You know, maybe even me and Dele, you know, might as well just, you know, catch up a little bit. You know, I'll just show him the sights, you know, on his way over to Birmingham. You know, it'd just it'd be glorious, Dave, you know, sipping a little bit of champagne, you know, maybe talking about his workout routines, which, right, David, which baby powder, which baby oil he's using for the muscles, you know, just be a nice old time and then drop him off and just kick him to the curb. It'd be glorious, David.
100%. I agree, man. I agree. And Lazy 801, new channel member, big yourself up, absolute legend. Hope to see you on here for the next fan show. Paul Markey is here. Big up Paul Markey. He says, of all the players linked with Spurs, the one that stands out is Frank Kessie. Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of him. I like him. He gets stuck in. He's a very hard worker. And look, you know, he has a shot on him like Victor Wanyama when he used to unleash him. So I'm all for it. Jack, what do you think on Frank Kessie?
No, he looks class, David. He's also got a bit of the short socks, you know, small shin pads as well, David. And he's a bit of a destroyer. So, you know, that's just a dangerous combination, you know, and as well, I think he's actually compared to Dele, you know, I actually do kind of like his hairstyle. You know, I think he keeps it really nice and clean and cut. It's not as much of a tarantula. You know, it's a bit more handsome looking, I would say. He's also really, really, really clever on the ball. He's actually more of a tempo setter, actually, David, than some might think. He's come through Serie A. I think he was originally playing for Atalanta. Then Atalanta loaned him out to Milan. Milan bought him eventually. And he's been an absolute beast for Milan for years. And I think they're probably really sad to see him go. I think especially in Serie A, he's really highly rated. I've seen him play plenty of times. I mean, Frank is absolute class. I would love to have him next to Højbjerg. I mean, unbelievable. Practically the best looking holding midfield partnership and also the classiest at the same time. Unbelievable. Yeah, no, 100%. Look, maybe he can be our Thomas Partey and we can release a silly little dance like AFT did. Big up Paul Markey. Absolutely love it, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. And Bob Spur TV says, fans are failing to differentiate between backing Nuno and Levy out.
let me put it this way. I dislike Levy more than I like Nuno. Always Levy out. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, Bob. Look, you know, Levy out, but like, there's no point in taking out on Nuno. We have to get behind him at the end of the day. Like, last thing you want to be doing is seeing our team slapped every week. You know what I mean? So we have to try and get behind Nuno. Look, you know, it's not the most aspiring of candidates, but I think he could do all right at Tottenham. You know, I just have that feeling inside that, you know, give him a bit of time, he could do all right at Tottenham, Bob. Big yourself up, Bob Spur. I really do appreciate the super chat.
Up,
look, and we've one more here from Ellie again. Big up, Ellie. Wow. And then after this, we'll get the Yig Kid on, and then we'll get Kerrion on as well. The last two guests. Ellie says, if Denmark win it again, I'm going to buy Højbjerg the best bit of Danish bacon, the best steak, and the best Danish pastries money can buy. Yeah, look, for me, you know, I love a good out Danish. That's what we call them over here. You know, I love a good Danish as well. So, yeah, maybe if you have a bit of change, you can maybe buy me a couple, Ellie. You know.
No, I think Ellie, David. I think Ellie. You know, she'll pick him up in the convertible. You know, she'll ring the doorbell. You know, he'll come out. You know, it's kind of like spend a day with Pierre. You know, kind of thing. And she just treats Pierre. It's just a day where you just treat Pierre. You know, just thank him for all the work he does for this club. You know, and I think Ellie should be absolutely the first one to do that, because a lot of us should be thanking Pierre. And Ellie, you know, she would take him out for a full day, David. You know, she would treat him. And honestly, you know, with the way she seems like she's going to be treating him, David, I'm a little worried about how he might be making weight, you know, for the preseason.
No, 100%. And look, when you're finished treating him, you know, bring him over to me and Jack so that we can meet him. You know, he's an absolute legend. I'd definitely be fangirling him. I'd be like Harry Winks on Jack Grealish. 100%.
Give him a European kiss, absolutely, yeah, and you know, he jumps in the convertible with Ellie, you know, gives him a peck on the cheek, you know, it'd be glorious, David, absolutely.
No, 100%. Big up, Ellie. I really do appreciate it. Too kind. And Killian, Kenny, you're on your shout out. Big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. But look, let's not waste any time. Let's get on you, kid. Let's get him on. Young up and coming, inspiring, talented YouTuber. You kid, how are we keeping, my man?
Doing great.
The cap on, brother. Nicely done.
It's not the flat cap, but I'm.
You think differently, though. You think differently, Daniel. You're doing brilliant.
Look, you make the best of what you have, lad.
Yeah, I ordered one and it came like 3 times the size of my head. So.
No, it doesn't matter, brother. It doesn't matter. No, it's gonna. We'll see it next time. Put it on next time, and we'll tell you how it looks. It's gonna be brilliant.
100%. But look, Daniel. You know, Nuno. What's your thoughts?
It's interesting. It is interesting because there's some players that could really benefit off this. Mainly, I'm thinking Matt Doherty, obviously. He's probably going to get back into a starting regular in the starting lineup. It really is interesting. But this morning, I opened Twitter and I saw a starting lineup for next season. That was pretty amusing. I have it right here. It would be Lloris and Kunde, Rodin, Tomiyasu, center backs, Doherty, right back, Sessegnon, left back, and Ndombele, Højbjerg in the middle, Neto right wing, Kane striker, and Sonny in the left wing. That could be a threat next season.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be a little scary. I mean, who do you make though as maybe being, you know, maybe who's somebody that you just see as being maybe, you know, Nuno's kind of go-to man, maybe either in the midfield, the defense, or the attack? Who do you see maybe Nuno taking a liking to in the Spurs squad?
I mean, I think it'd have to be Højbjerg, but every manager would take a liking to that man.
Right.
He does everything right for the badge.
Right.
Sticks it in, lifts it up the socks, as Ali said. Mm-hmm. He's a perfect player. And maybe you could also say Harry Kane, but that would depend if he even stayed next season. That's the only thing I could say about Nuno. If it's enough to convince Kane to stay another season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Look, with Harry Kane, I think it all comes down to Daniel Levy, really, whether he accepts a bid, where he doesn't, and whether he just puts his foot down, because Kane does have 3 years left on his contract. He did sign a 5-year contract not so long ago, so you know that does come down to Levy. But look, you kid, what players do you think you know that Nuno can get the best out of that maybe we were planning on selling?
There's a lot of deadwood in this club. We all know that. The main problem is the deadwood. There's nothing at the moment that is stopping this club as much as the deadwood. Doherty, I'm saying probably is the main one, but there's some other ones. Recently,
do you think Doherty quickly could be revived, though? I mean, Nuno might be the only guy in the world who might be able to revive that man.
I mean, I've heard this quote before. I think it might have been We Are Tottenham TV. They said, Nuno, he squeezes the sponge out of every single player, and there's nothing more he could have got out of that Wolves squad. That's spot on. I think he gets the best out of each player, and I think Doherty, when he was at Wolves, he was one of the best right backs in the league, and I think he could do that with a few other players, including I saw Bergwijn. We Are Tottenham TV made a video earlier, all the players that could benefit off Nuno. Bergwijn was on there, a few other players. I think Bergwijn could really benefit off him because Bergwijn is the type of player that he likes defending quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
could be a surprise. Could be like a surprise one, yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely. I mean, Yikid as well. I mean, what do you make of maybe, 3 in the back versus a 4 in the back? Like, what do you think might actually, some might think that, 3 in the back is a bit more attacking, might be better for whatever the DNA that he's supposed to support for attacking, kind of young, modern kind of attack. What do you make, though? Is the 3 in the back, is that what you might think might be best for the squad? Or is it maybe better that we go with the 4 in the back in order to be a bit more attacking?
To be honest, I just want Nuno to do his thing. I don't want Levy to interfere anything in the football. If he wants to play 3 at the back, let him play 3 at the back. Don't have Levy coming in telling him to play 4 at the back because that's our DNA. None of that. None of that.
Actually, yeah, no coaching from Levy's side. Actually, well said. That's a good answer. I completely agree.
100%. And do you think he needs to be backed, or else he's just going to end up falling in the same trap as Mourinho and Pochettino? And also, what do you make of him being handed a 2-year contract?
I think with the 2-year contract, it's if it doesn't work out, Levy saying that he doesn't have to pay anymore. That's literally what Levy's thinking of. Levy always thinks about the money. I also want to answer Agalia's question here.
Yeah.
My real name is Daniel. So you could call me the kid, you could call me Daniel. But the other question, I kind of forgot what it was. Could you repeat it? The first question that you asked?
Just I can't even remember that, to be honest with you. I'm like, I'd be going at 20 miles per hour.
Yeah, I'll let David rethink of it. But Yikid, is there anybody, like maybe Region, maybe Sonny? Is there anybody that maybe might be similar? Maybe I'll first ask this really quickly. Have you watched Wolves maybe in the last 2 seasons at all? Did you ever get a chance to watch them enough? Just quickly.
I actually watch Wolves quite a lot.
Yeah, and so maybe then I'll just ask, is there somebody that you think in the Spurs squad right now that could play maybe that João Moutinho role? Is there somebody that you think in the squad that could play the Ruben Neves role? Is there somebody that might be able to play, the Pedro Neto role? Like, what do you think? Who do you think might be able to fill in some of those, dependable players that Nuno had at Wolves?
I think one of them could be Højbjerg and Ndombele if he does get to his full fitness. I know Ndombele has his foot is a wizard. I don't know if you guys saw a Q&A with Gareth Bale, that he was asked about which player surprised him the most, and he answered Ndombele. And he even compared them to Ronaldinho. That's how much. But to me, the comparison to Ronaldinho didn't really mean much. You can compare Phil Jones to Maldini, doesn't mean anything. But I mean, Ndombele does have some talent on it. We all know that. It's just if you could put down the burger and grab some weights and start weight.
And now, is there anybody you might think that Nuno would give? Is there anybody in the lineup that you would be really, really sad to see Nuno might give a second chance to? Maybe it's a Stinksy, maybe it's a Sissoko, maybe it's someone else that I haven't mentioned. Who would you be really sad to see Nuno give a second chance to, and maybe someone you might be convinced he actually could give a second chance to?
Well, I actually think, I'm actually scared about this. Eric Dyer. As soon as he walks in and he finds out he can speak Portuguese, we're in trouble.
As soon as he gives him, the Portuguese greeting, as soon as he drops, whatever, a bit of a Porto wine maybe at his front door, I am a little worried.
Yeah. I mean, also, obviously, the players that you just stated, Harry Winks, Mucho Sissoko. I do think that one of the deadwoods that would be leaving is Aurier, because I think
you're right.
Doherty he's like one of Nuno's favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
True. Were you named after Daniel Levy, lad?
No, I don't know who I was named that, but I hope it wasn't after that. My dad's a City fan, so he wouldn't name me after him. Yeah. But
Named after Daniel Sturridge.
yeah.
But David, did you remember that question you wanted to ask Daniel here?
No, I can't, to be honest with you, lad. You know. But look, what I do say to you, kid, is
David, I think your audio is going.
I'll be back. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're all right, David. Daniel, I mean, look, with Spurs, there's a huge rebuild that needs to happen, you know, and we're already maybe in the midst of about to be signing tons of players. Someone like maybe Tomiyasu seems to already be through the door. Maybe Joachim Andersen might also be through the door. What do you make of these? Like, are these signings maybe for the 3 in the back system? Are these signings for a 4 in the back system? What do you think?
I mean, it's interesting when you look at the signings because before we had Nuno, I do a thing on my channel where I go through all the Spurs news. Every single time I'd see a rumor on a player, I'd always go, "We don't have a manager. Put it in the trash. Put the paper in the trash." Because it doesn't mean anything when you don't have a manager. You have to have the manager making the decisions. I know we had Paratici, and Paratici was the man that was supposed to be making the player decisions, but it has to be a manager because now you got Nuno, right? Let's say we would have bought somebody that was for a back 4. And then we get Nuno. And then we have to throw him away and try and develop him into somebody that fits a back 3. It doesn't work when you don't have a manager and you're trying to get a bunch of transfers in. That's just common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you maybe have faith that maybe Paratici and Nuno might be able to work well together? Maybe does it even matter that, you know, Paratici and him worked well together? What do you make of this? Like, is it possible maybe that he might be able to whisper in Paratici's ear, maybe a couple of players he has in mind, or you think he might be able to work with what Paratici gives him?
I think what's most important in that is for Daniel Levy not to put his finger in it. Because if he put his finger, he'll do something. I'm telling you. I know. We're going to be looking at Nuno's going to want someone, and then Paratici's like, "Oh, we should sign him." And then Daniel Levy, "No, he doesn't fit the Spurs DNA."
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I do think Daniel Levy sometimes he is, you know, he's kind of like that, you know, you're having a nice conversation with somebody and then that, you know, the last person you want, you know, walks up into the conversation, you know, and interrupts it. I feel like Daniel Levy's like that. You know, he walks into the office right in the middle of Fabio's lunch, you know, just while Fabio and Nuno are talking to each other, you know, talking to each other about the old days, you know, when football was a little better, when there's no VAR. Daniel Levy comes in. Completely agree. Probably gets in the middle of all of it. But maybe, you know, I agree with that. Maybe they might be working well together, and the only person that might interrupt their relationship could just be the Levy man himself.
Yeah, honestly, because I don't know if we all saw the Spurs documentary, I think, on Amazon. Daniel Levy was getting in everything. This guy, like, you could see the breakfasts that he was having with Jose Mourinho. I remember when he told
putting his finger in Jose's food, you know, and
he told Jose Mourinho once, "What a player winks. He's such talent." And Jose Mourinho just looked at him like, you don't have any idea about you're clueless. You're just clueless.
Marcelo would love what you just said. Marcelo, I think, said something similar once. You said that. Marcelo would love that.
That Amazon documentary, he just unveils so much stuff. I actually thought at the end of the Amazon documentary, when they put the credits to a movie, I thought it was going to say directed by Daniel Levy, because everything in there would benefit Daniel Levy. After that show, there were so many people that were like, "Oh, we love Levy," and coincidentally, right after that show, we had a great transfer window.
Ye kid is on the ball. Daniel Levy's not fooling him. But Brian C says you're right, ye kid, about Nuno getting Endon Belly on a diet, hit the gym. Need to turn Endon Burger into Endon Dumbbell. And he'll be fantastic for us, 100%. But you kid, last question for you before we get on the last guest, and then because we do have to kind of we are getting a bit pushed for time. We do have the show at 9:30. But look, what are you most looking forward to seeing next season under Nuno?
Good football. I mean, when we saw the Jose Mourinho era, we were all saying, I think we could all agree with this. If we get results, I don't care about the football. But I could not stand with those 90 minutes in the last 10 minutes, sitting in my chair like this, watching the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me sit back sometimes. Let me sit back. Right. That's all I want to do. Let me relax and watch Tottenham. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be worried about the last 5 minutes because of our history. But also, I want to see the how he played. I want to see how Wolves played. I want to be watching, instead of watching the old Tottenham that we were watching like last season. I want to see how Wolves play, because those type of formations that Nuno play, that's exactly why we brought him in, and that's why he fits the Spurs DNA.
Great point there. But look, Daniel, before we let you go, you know, I think you're brilliant. I think your channel is brilliant. Why don't you plug it and let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah, you guys can all find me at my channel at Theirishyid, just like it says on my name right there. I make a podcast every single day. On Monday, I bring on guests. David, I mean, I wish I could bring on you, but at my time, I do them like at 3 a.m. your time, so it'd be a little bit too late. I might do one in the afternoon coming up one time, because I might.
Look, I tell you what. I'll come on Monday at 3 o'clock in the morning, lad. You don't have to do anything for me. I'll come on, lad.
Right, bro. What?
No. I promise. I make a promise.
Believe me,
I'll come on.
Daniel, believe me, he's that generous of a man, and he's also that, you know, he's that deluded as well. Sometimes, you know, I've seen David, you know, he gives me a call. He wakes up from, you know, cold shiver. You know, he had a dream about stinks.
Thinking of winks.
Yeah, he has a dream about stinks. He wakes up in a cold sweat, you know, then he sees even Stivsoko sometimes in his dreams, you know, trying to make a long ball pass. You know, believe me, David, that's sometimes right in David's window. Unfortunately, it's in his window.
Yeah.
He's up at night. The team haunts him that much sometimes.
Yeah, we're also closing in on 200 subscribers. Yes, like two days ago, I said, let's see if we can hit 200 subscribers before we get a manager. And Levy was like, nope.
So how many are you off?
I'm at 184 right now.
Well, look, any of the Harris Army over there, look, you know, get over there and make the kids' day. You know, let's show the young how the older generation do it. And get over there and smash the subscribe on the channel. You know, I'm sure the Harris Army, you know, we can get 16 people from here right now to get over there and smash the subscribe and get him to 200. If not, I will source something you kid, and I'll get you there, Daniel. All right.
Brilliant.
Will you let me know when you need me for 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be on.
All right, I'll tell you, Ryan. See you on the next one, guys.
I'll see you on the next one, Daniel. Big yourself up, man.
Come on,
Absolute legend.
Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, man. What a legend. What an absolute dude. Big up to you, kid. Make sure you get over there and smash subscribe on his YouTube channel. Just 2 super chats here, and then we'll bring on Kerry in. Avery Troop says Skriniar and Kunde available for 45 million. Levy needs to get it done. One of them is now or never. But we all know that Levy gotta do what you guys think. Yeah, 100%. Look, go and get them. Go and get the 2 of them. You know, we need centre backs. We need defenders. So 100%. I'd agree with that. Avery Troop. Daniel Levy needs to go and get it done. Paratici also needs to have a word. And you say, what do you think, Jack?
Sorry, I was just plugging in Yidkid's channel there. Let me pull up that super chat, Daniel. I just put in Yidkid's channel. So, like, I saw he was getting so much love in the chat as well, David. So I just figured, you know, for everybody that, you know, was giving him all that love, and you rightfully were giving him that love as well. But, you know, in case you were wondering where to find his channel, it's in the comments now. But Avi Troop Series says Skriniar and Kunde available for 45 million. Levy needs to get it done. One of them, like, absolutely, Avi. I mean, these are literally, you're probably talking about, Avi, 2 of maybe the best center halves in the world for the future, you might say. In the next few years, these guys will be replacing some of the best center halves in the world. I can honestly I would put my life savings on that, despite there not being a lot there. Absolutely, Avi. With Kunde, you get a bit of that player that's, you know, just an absolute baller on the ball, almost kind of what Connor Cody is, but, you know, a much better defender. He's supposedly really good in the air, despite his height as well. And then with Skriniar, we've all seen, I think, plenty of Skriniar. He's an absolute tank. He's also very intelligent. Very large, very dominating, kind of maybe like a Slovakian Varane, you might say. So, yeah, I think they just would both be absolute steals for that price. So big yourself up, Avi. And then Aaron Duff says, cheers, lads. Bye. The Jack the Hotspur hipster, a fluffy drink. You know, with that, Aaron, with that, you know, might as well. I'm thinking maybe, you know, Aaron, you might think this might sound crazy and you might think this might sound delicious, but let me know in the comments. I just saw this the other day at a place. It was called a Oaxacan Old Fashioned, which is like an old-fashioned drink, but it's actually with tequila from Mexico. You know, looked delicious. You know, it was around $10. Aaron, you know, I was really eyeing it. It was, you know, making my mouth water, Aaron. But let me know if that sounds good to you. It's kind of like an old-fashioned, but it's with tequila instead.
Nah, big up, Aaron, 100%. You know, look, I think we'll have to do a thing each day. Jack's on the channel. He'll have to be seeing now a new sort of fluffy drink, Aaron, and describe it to you, my man. Terry Wright says David is the man, top class. Jack and David really complement each other. Great team. Big yourself up. And I do want to say the Harris Army have done it again. Yid Kid has reached 204,
Wow.
200 subs. He's actually on
Blink of an
204 now and growing. Big up, absolutely love it. Big up, yeah. Yid Kid, but you deserve it, man. You know, you gave yourself a great representation, like you always do. So big yourself up. But look, last but not least is the last guest. But before we bring him on, Jack, I know we have a show there in about half an hour, 40 minutes. If you want to go off and have have a bit of lunch, right? You sure?
No, David. No, believe me, I knew what it was going to be like today. We even took the day off, a little bit yesterday, David. I ate nice and early. I'm plenty good to go.
Happy days.
Ready to talk to Kieran here. Let's get it in.
Yeah, let's get it in. Kieran from Spurs Sick. How are you keeping him, man? How do you actually pronounce your name?
Yeah, Kieran. Yeah, you got it.
Kieran, nice.
David Harris, man, it's been a long time coming, me getting on here. I'm glad to be here. And I just want to say big up to you, man, agreeing to go on the Yid Kids channel. Big up to the Yid Kid, man. He's fantastic. And what a sharp kid, man. He's right on the ball. And Yid Kid, he will be on. I can guarantee you that, because this man has been up to the wee hours in the morning over there in Ireland talking with me and other guys on Will Stewart's Rants channel. So he'll be there. I can promise you that.
No, 100%. I will be. But look, it's finally good to have you on here, my man. It's great to get you on. But come here, first and foremost, do you want to plug your channel before we get into a bit of Nuno, or do you want to wait until see what people see if people enjoy what you have to say?
Yeah. Let's wait till the end. Let's
strong man, confident man, David. Confident man, David.
No worries. He's confident. So look, let's put him to the test, Jack. Let's throw the questions at him. So look, I'll go first. Nuno, happy, underwhelming? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I can repeat what everybody said a million times, right? That after the names we've been linked to before, Conte, Poch coming back, it can be underwhelming. It can feel underwhelming, and I totally understand why people feel that way. For me, I don't know. I think it's a 50-50. It's a coin toss. There are things I like about Nuno and his style of football, and there are things I don't like. There are things I really like about his coaching style, but there's also the George Mendes link, which I'm not a huge fan of. So, there's a lot of things that could go either way, and I think it'll be the same as the case with Tottenham managers for the last decade, which is, do they get backed? Right. Do they get the targets in the transfer window that they want? If Nuno gets what he wants in the transfer window, which isn't going to be outrageous, it won't even be close to what Jose would have wanted from Levy and the board. So if he can get those targets, I think we could be competitive. I think we could get back to where we were. I think he'll surprise people with his versatility in tactics and analysis. And I think, just like McFarland just said, at the end of the day, he's our man. He's our manager now. It's time to back him. No excuses. It's time to back the manager.
100%. And just another quick question before I let Jack in there. But what do you make of this thing that if you're backing Nuno, you're backing Levy?
Oh, God, man. So I don't know if either of you guys saw it, but Will Stewart had a stream yesterday and had all the boys from Tottenham away on it. And Stell was being usual Stell. I love him, but I don't always agree with his takes. And we got into that one really hard. And I think what we settled on is what defines backing the manager is different for every fan. Sure. And every fan supports the club in different ways in their own way. And, we can have differing opinions on how we want to support the club, how we want to push our narratives against Levy or for the manager, etc. But we all have to respect at the end of the day that we all want what's best for Tottenham. We all love the club and we all support the team. And we want to see Spurs bring home some silverware because it's been too damn long. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. I think that, again, however you look at it, I am as Levy out, Enoch out as anybody else on YouTube. But, I think at the same time, I love Spurs more than I hate Levy. So for me, I want to see Spurs win first, and then the rest will sort itself out based on our actions as the fans. So
yeah, absolutely.
100%. Jack, have you any questions there lined up?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Kieran, come here. have you seen, first of all, just quickly ask, I mean, have you seen a lot of Wolves maybe in the last few seasons? I mean, do you watch them? Maybe I'll just ask that first before I ask the next question.
Yeah, no, I've watched a fair bit of Wolves. You know, I don't just watch Spurs. You know, when NBC's got their coverage of the Premier League over here,
you know,
it's
some
all
torture
day,
themselves like that. You know, Kieran.
Yeah.
You know, you have to ask. Some torture themselves with just watching Spurs. You know, so I just had to ask.
No, I try to get a little bit of everything in there so I can enjoy football a little bit more.
Right.
You know, because lately watching Tottenham is just stress and anxiety. So you know, it's nice to sit back and watch Klopp's Liverpool play or watch Man City do what they do. But no, I actually have watched Wolves a lot. I've ever since they came up from the Championship, I was interested in the project and what those new owners did at Wolves with this whole new concept of the recruitment department of the football club being attached to somebody like George Mendes, who's this so-called super agent,
right?
And focusing on bringing talent within his network. It was an interesting project. I don't know if I necessarily agreed with it, but I wanted to see how it shook out. And, you know, there's a lot of references made when people talk about Nuno to how that Wolves team did in that year in the Championship coming up into the Premier League. And let's, you know, make no bones about it, earning promotion to the Premier League from the Championship is one of the hardest things to do in European football. I'm serious. The Championship is a grueling league. It's really hard on players.
It's endless.
So many teams, so many games. It's really rough. And all the stadiums and the atmospheres, just some of the raucous, nasty fan bases. You got to go to play Millwall away or Portsmouth away and deal with those guys. I mean, come on, it's crazy. So I will give them credit there, but at the same time, you know, I think David has said this too. They had Premier League players playing in the Championship. They spent a lot of money, got in top quality players who knew that the reason they were coming into this club is because they were going to be in the Premier League after just one season. They knew it was going to happen. That was the plan. And that's what happened. Nuno still deserves credit for being able to execute the plan. And then since they've come up to the Premier League, I mean, getting into Europe, getting into the Europa League and going to a quarterfinal for a team that hadn't been in Europe, I believe, since the 1940s. I mean, that's an incredible achievement. That's almost as incredible as Spurs reaching the Champions League final, given our history. And I think people should not underestimate Nuno and what he can do as a man manager, as a coach, and as a tactician. But it's all about, is the infrastructure at the club there to support him?
Really well said again, Kieran. And, you know, you answered just that really short question beautifully. And I was just going to say, sorry if it was a little long-winded. No, but maybe you already answered it in a way or, you know, in a shape or form, but maybe you also set yourself up to have to answer this a little differently this time. And with the likes of Nuno and with him coming in, since you've obviously seen a lot of Wolves, do you see anybody in the Spurs squad that can maybe play that kind of João Moutinho role, that Ruben Neves role, maybe that Pedro Neto role? Do you see anybody maybe in the current squad, or maybe somebody, maybe even from the transfer market, however you want to answer it, just somebody that, you know, could come in and, you know, fill in those practically vital roles that he's, you know, had at Wolves?
So first off, I just want to say big up Brad Matthews. You're great, man. I love watching you every time you're on here.
Look, we'll give you a bit of experience. While you're bigging him up, you can read out his super chat as well, can we?
Okay. Yeah, he's got a super chat here for £5. Say, buy yourself some strong coffee for your 3 a.m. stint with the Yid kid. Yeah, you're going to need it, man. You're going to need it.
Nah, big up, Brad. Big up. Appreciate it. Getting a lot of love here, so yeah, Kerry, and I have to say a lot of people enjoy it.
Well, much appreciated. Thank you to the Harris Army. You know, I've been in there in the comments with you guys for a long time now, so I appreciate the support. Thank you.
So who's going to fill in, you know, maybe in the current squad, or somebody from the transfer market you'd like to see come in? Who's filling in some of these roles that Nuno maybe so, you know, desperately depends on, like the João role, like the Ruben Neves role, and so on?
The thing about Nuno is, I'm not so certain that we're going to see only the 3-back formations that we saw at Wolves. I think the idea here, and if you look at our transfer targets, like, for example, Takehiro Tomiyasu, if you look at him, he's a right back in a flat 4 most of the time, but he also does well at center back. well, obviously he's a target to play either a right-sided center back in a back three or play in a flat back four. I think we're going to see a lot of transition between a 3-back and 4-back throughout the Premier League season, according to the opposition we're playing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can I just quickly interrupt you, just because that's even a question we're going to be talking about later? I think that's a fantastic answer. Is that just because Nuno is maybe this pragmatic manager where he realizes, right, against maybe a stronger opposition, I actually need to line up like this, whereas versus a weaker opposition, I need to line up like this? He might not be like other managers who just stick to that system through and through. I mean, is that maybe something you prefer? Is that something you respect?
Yes, I mean, I do. I like tactical flexibility. Now, don't get me wrong. Mauricio Pochettino is still my favorite Tottenham manager. I love the way we play football under him. But one of his downsides was that he wasn't always so flexible with the formations and the personnel. There were times where he was, for example, that game in the Champions League against Dortmund, where he had Jan Vertonghen playing left wing back. We had a back three, and Jan scored a screamer of a goal. And oh god, I'm just getting shivers just thinking about that match. Oh boy, getting hot flashes over here. But no, but yeah, I mean, I think that Nuno has shown that versatility, and what I've been doing is not just watching Wolves, because I've been watching his Wolves squad for the last couple of years, but I went back and watched some of Nuno's Valencia. Now, if you want a window into what more we could see at Spurs, watch some of Nuno's Valencia team, because I think that team had more talented attacking players than his Wolves squad did. And I think that shows what he can do with the talent that we have in attack, like Son and Kane, Giovanni Lo Celso playing an attacking midfielder role like he did at Betis. I think that Nuno is going to be able to utilize all the skills of the squad we have. And yeah, hopefully we can get some targets into the transfer window, especially those kind of utility players who can play across a couple different positions to give him that tactical versatility.
Yeah. Absolutely. Really brilliant.
Angry Peanut says, what's Kieran's channel name?
It's Spurs Sick. You know that feeling like last season when we kept, going up 1-0 and you just knew what was going to happen. We sat back and we just started soaking up the pressure and you knew what was going to happen. That's Spurs Sick. That's the channel.
Yeah. Absolutely love it.
That's the channel.
And Peter P says, just subscribe to your channel, Kieran. Big up.
Thank you.
Jack, did we get Darius for the next show?
David, I actually regretfully inform you, Darius, he said he can't do it tonight. He's just at someone else's house.
What are you doing in half an hour's time?
I might have to go. I might have to leave the house.
Right.
But if you want, I could make a call and see and message you. Yeah.
Message us on Twitter. See if you can. We're going to be might go maybe a couple of minutes past, but. Yeah,
I changed it to quarter. I changed the time to quarter. Yeah, because we do have one more person in the background. He's asked coming in. I can't wait to introduce this next person. It's going to be brilliant.
Kieran, just let us know. Message us through Twitter, either one of us. If you can come on at 4:45, we'd love to have you. You've been absolutely insane. Yeah. You've been brilliant.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, I'll message you and let me know what I can do.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, well, look, we'll get you on another time if you can't. Don't break any plans with the missus or whatever it might be. We can get you on.
Yeah, don't get yourself dumped anyway, man.
Don't ruin yourself.
I gotta call the missus and ask for permission.
No, I mean sometimes you do, mate. Sometimes you do. David and I.
Look, we're all men, but sometimes you do have to do it, lad. You do have to do it. But come here, before we do let you go, man. I want you to plug your channel.
Yeah, so you can find me at Spurs Sick. No space, so just SPURSSICK on YouTube. I just released my first video, which is my thoughts on Nuno. It was recorded about an hour before he was initially announced, but everything I said there is still relevant, and I probably went over some of the things that I said in that video today. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at Tottenhamitis, Tottenham ITIS. So if you want to follow me there and get updates on what's going on with the show. I'd like to start doing some live streaming too, and also get some guests on. So yeah,
I'll be there. You just ask me, I'll be there for you.
Thanks, I really appreciate it.
No,
big up,
look,
Kerry,
you've
and you
been
killed it.
absolutely brilliant here today, Kerry. And I genuinely, I wish we had a lot more time because I was really enjoying that. But we do have to crack on. We have one more in the background who, I wasn't expecting to come on today. And we are a bit pushed for time. But honestly, my man, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much. And everybody, please, the Harris Army, get over there and check out Spurs Sick. Let's get him to 30 subs. That's the target. We'll set 30 for now and see how close we can get to it. But big up, Kerry, and thank you so much for your time, my man.
Thank you, guys. Big up the Harris Army.
Yep, and
Come on,
absolutely.
Spurs.
And message us later if you can, Kerry. No big deal if you can't, but message us if you can.
We'll do, guys. Thanks. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
No,
See you, my man. Appreciate that. What an absolute legend, guys. What an absolute legend Kieran was. Great guest. I genuinely wish we actually had more time to give him there, to be honest with you. And a lot of people bigging him up, Trevor Kane, Brian C., and there's been a lot more all the way through. But this guy, you see him everywhere in the comments. We're giving you another face behind the name. We're giving you another face behind the name. We see him everywhere. He cracks me up. But look, Jack, you can give him the big Ric Flair as we introduce him.
Chamu, man. Woo, woo, woo! Big up, Chamu. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I see you got Jack's Ukrainian uncle in today.
Yeah. Stepping in for Jack and Nikki. Yeah, stepping in for Jack and Nikki. It's my alter ego, Kanikolenko. A bit more Ukrainian knowledge with Kanikolenko, whereas, Kaniki is, all in one. But yeah, absolutely. Chamu. It's wonderful to have you. You can go about this any way you like. Maybe first, Chamu, anybody in the squad, before I ask you about the manager, anybody in the squad there that you might want to take into the ring, before you might kick them out of the club, anybody that you might give them a bit of the Chamu Van People's elbow, a bit of the woo, woo, woo into their ear, anybody that you would want to take into the ring?
I feel like Messi and Chamu could be a good battle. That'd be a good heat. Winks, no problem. 1 round, 30 seconds. Sanchez, I'll just run around him and he won't be able to find me.
Probably fall down.
Jump in the air and he'll just keep going up. So
Oh, Jack, you're gonna have to take over here. Yes,
absolutely. Chamu, we just got in what I call the Jedi. The stoic man, the beautiful, beautiful, wise. Nuno. What do you make of Nuno? Maybe you're a bit disappointed because we've been rumored with Italian stallions in the past. But what do you make of this? Nuno in. Is this bode well with Chamu? Let's say.
Well, it's better than no manager. We've had no manager for 60 days. So what's the point in complaining?
You're
now
deprived.
You're deprived. Manager. At least he has the Prem experience, whereas the other guys didn't. So that's one thing to look at as a positive. At least he knows what teams are in there and how to play against most of them. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I'll ask you this as well, because I'm an interchange maybe between the seriousness and the comical. Let's say he puts on the flat cap. Let's say also maybe the cone setter himself, from Arsenal also puts on the flat cap. Who do you think looks better in the flat cap? And also, who do you think might win in a game of chess, maybe between the two, between the likes of Mikel Arteta and Nuno? Oh, it's gonna have to be Nuno. Why the fuck would we back the Arsenal prick? And honestly, to be honest, do Arsenal fans even know how to play chess, Chamu? They might not even understand that reference. They might think it's a game on the app. They're still playing Mousetrap. Too busy playing operator. But operating on themselves. But Chamu, come here. Is there any players, let's say, that maybe from the Euros, any itches, any ankles, or just any players in general that you might think might fit maybe the Nuno system? Any players that maybe have come to a liking to Chamu maybe this Euros? Because I know you've been watching a lot of it, from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. to 24/7, really. Just take anyone really that will fucking put in a shift, because half of these players in our team do fuck all. And it's fucking annoying. I'm waking up at 4 o'clock. I'm putting in more effort than them, and they're getting paid 100 grand. Pay me 100 grand. That's true. No one's asking you to wake up at those hours, Shabu. No one's asking you. No one's paying you. And, do you maybe think that maybe Nuno might be able to come in and maybe fix some of that culture that's within the dressing room of, sorry, boss, I couldn't make it today. The detergent, isn't working with the washing machine. Sorry, I couldn't fold my clothes right. The laundry
or, like the dry cleaner didn't give my shoes in time, sorry, like this is the wrong packet of M&Ms. I can't play this tournament. Do you think he might be able to rid out that kind of culture? What do you think?
Well, he's got to. It can't take any excuses. It can't be any worse than what it has been. The only way is up for me. So if we go down, then I guess we're getting relegated, aren't we? If we get any worse with our attitude, because it's like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that.
You don't think it could get more into? You don't think we'll drop into some sort of mid-table obscurity? Some mid-table kind of anonymity. We already did. You already did. Mid-table. We're basically mid-table. Yeah, maybe also. Yeah, David, hop in.
If you could give anyone on the team a 619, who would it be?
619. Probably Winks, to be honest. He probably deserves it the most.
You wouldn't even have to. He wouldn't even have to put him on his knees through the ropes, lad. He's that short.
Yeah, exactly. He'll just stay on his legs and then just full flap onto the ropes there. 619 and then off the top rope flog splash. Boom. Chamu van.
Well, that's exactly what you need.
Shamu, there's a question in here from Joe Grimes. It seems that you maybe have forgotten your heavyweight championship belt.
Yeah.
Is it? It's just going to say, it seems like you're hiding it from us.
Hang on.
He does have one.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's class.
There you go.
That's class.
I hope that keeps Joe happy. Oh, Shamu, you've absolutely made my day. Do you know that? I can't stop laughing, man. Even your answers are brilliant.
Oh, we got to save it for the end of these. Always.
Yeah. But come here, Shamu. Look, do you see Nuno working out at Tottenham?
What was that, David?
Do you see Nuno working out at Tottenham?
I can. Maybe not a long term. Maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, and then he might run his cycle. But after a year, then I'll decide. I can't say now. I'll give him at least a year.
Yeah, 100%. And look, what do you hope he brings most from that Wolves team? Do you hope it's the formation, to get the togetherness that the players show? The fighting attitude that the players show. What is it from that Wolves team you want them to bring to Tottenham?
Some winning games, some better tactics, maybe. I just don't want to see any shit anymore. If we can back Jose, who was ex-Chelsea, then why can't we back Nuno?
Yeah. Chamu, I gotta actually ask you this question real quick. Chamu versus Eric Dyer. Chamu versus Moon Boots. As much as we love to rip on Moon Boots, he does seem to actually have an absolute concrete built of a head. If he does lay one up, maybe a bit of a Zidane on you, I would be worried for your life. It seems like his headbutts could be deadly. How would you be able to handle maybe the likes of Moon Boots maybe in the ring?
I'll just smash him in the head with my belt. It weighs like a good kilo.
Weighs a good kilo. Maybe his head wouldn't be able to take that. Move. Yeah. It's also with Moon Boots as well. He's not very good he's not very spry on the feet, so he's probably quite easy to actually knock over the back of the head. He misses most headers anyway. So it probably wouldn't be too hard. Absolutely agree. But Chamu, I mean, is there anybody that maybe you have a vendetta against? Anybody that you just need to bring up in the squad? Maybe even just any Spurs news. I mean, what's on your mind maybe?
What's on my mind? Well, we finally got a coach, so enough of this bitching and moaning about, is he going to work? Is he going to work? We finally got a coach, so we need to back him. It's not even pre-season, so give peace a chance, as the Beatles song says.
And maybe with that, Chamu, is there a way to back Nuno and then still also voice, you're Levy out, you're still Enoch out? Is there a way to maybe make that differentiation between,
Of course there is. Of course there is. Tottenham is bigger than Levy, so of course you can support Tottenham and not Levy. You just go to the games and you sing that, I can see you, Levy. You can see me. All you need to do is just
you can still sing that. Nuno, Nuno probably even likes that chant when you maybe think about it as well.
Who doesn't like that song?
And
probably, but no one, surely.
And I've also maybe this is my last question for you, Chamu, before David comes in. I've likened.
I can't even hold myself together, Jack.
I've likened Nuno,
David's
Chamu. I've
buckling
told you
under the
this.
Chamu.
Just buckling under Chamu band pressure. But I think I told you this in text before, Chamu. Like, how I feel like Nuno is actually kind of looks almost like a Jedi. Almost looks like an Obi-Wan.
Nathan
Von
Redmond's
Nuno.
dad.
Yeah. And, do you make? I mean, what do you think? Like, if Nuno the Jedi, how do you think he'll handle maybe the likes of Harry Potter from Brighton? Do you think do you think he'll maybe smash him this year? Because that's the one that David is supposedly looking up for this upcoming season. Maybe you can give David the good news. Like, do you see Nuno absolutely tearing apart Harry Potter?
We're going to tear everyone apart. Where's the confidence? We're going to beat everyone this year.
I love it. I love it.
No, look, I absolutely love it. But Chamu, look, we've 15 minutes to the next show, man. Absolute legend. What a debut, I have to say. You have killed me. You have absolutely cracked me up. And since you've come on, all the comments have been about you. Every single one of them. They're absolutely loving it, lad. They're absolutely loving it. A bit of the you can't see me, lad.
They're so excited to see you.
Love it.
Yeah, they're so excited to see you, Chamu. I'm not kidding. They're literally they're just stoked to see you.
That's hilarious.
It's like Ellie, Ellie making a reveal. Now that you're finally coming on, it's
Well, I'm not making a reveal.
It's all coming together. It's hard to know what's under there. It's hard to know what's under there.
That was David's idea. He told me to get a Rey Mysterio mask for my birthday, so I played David.
Probably has a 619 tattoo on his forehead or something like that. But
yeah, David's gonna get a 619 tattoo on his ass.
Chamu's been practicing all week, swinging around the lamppost doing the 619. You can imagine him out in the streets of New Zealand, just swinging around random lampposts with 619 and all grannies and everything else.
Fuck yeah! I do it on the street for money. Instead of begging for money, I just do 619s on the lamppost with nothing there, so it's just me swinging on a pole. People probably just think I'm a stripper.
Man, honestly, you've absolutely cracked everybody up. Everybody is absolutely loving it. But Chamu,
that's awesome,
man. I want to see you on more of these. I want to see you on a lot more of these, and I want to get you on.
He's
got to
be the closer, David. He's got to be the closer. He's got to be the closer.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Chamu van closer.
Has to be.
Finisher.
But Chamu, look, why don't you give everyone a message and tell them why we have to get behind our man, Nuno.
Well, he's our fucking coach. He's the coach of our team, and no matter what Levy does, Levy isn't Tottenham. We'll be there longer than Levy, unless you're pushing up daisies. Then he might outlast you. But if we can back Jose and we can support him, why can't we support Nuno? Chelsea is
actually
like absolute scum, and if we can back him and be all cheery about that, then why can't we back, another Portuguese?
Sound logic. Really sound logic. Totally agree.
What's the story says, Chamu? I hope you're wearing pants.
Oh, to be honest, no. Well, I'm wearing boxers. It's 8:30 in the morning, lad. I only just woke up. I thought you were going live at 8 my time, you prick.
No, look, Chamu. Next time I'll do a better time that suits you, so I will, all right?
Oh, no, it's not about me, David. It's not about the woo woo woo. It's about the Theirishyid.
No, it is. It's all about the Chamu woo woo today. You know what I mean? Absolutely love it. But look, Chamu, we do have to end off there. Thank you so much, my man. You're an absolute legend.
No worries, David.
To the Harris Army out there, everybody that's tuned in for the fan show, I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had some great guests on today. I think it's been an absolute cracker of a fan show. Thank you so much to everybody for all the super chats. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that smashed a like on the stream. That any new channel members, thank you so much. And most importantly, to you, the Harris Army, for tuning in and engaging in the comments the way you do. Thank you so much. I'll see you all back here in about 15 or 20 minutes, where you'll have myself, Jack, Kieran, or maybe Kieran and Kieran from Let's Talk Spurs, where we'll be doing the Kaniki Answer Me, where Jack asks all the tough hitting questions that everybody wants answers to, and he won't let anyone evade answering them. So we'll see you all back here in 20 minutes time. Until then, thank you so much. And pre-season starts back Monday. Tottenham is back, baby. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Get him, boys. Chamu van, woo!
Woo!
No, look, we have to end off on a big woo. You have to give it a
Yeah.
proper Ric Flair.
Okay, I'll try because it's like 8:32 in the morning and my kitten might go bananas.
So
off the
what,
wall.
lad? So what? You're allowed to wake them up. It's,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
it's fully
Chamu
Irish
van,
Hotspur, lad.
That's, oh my, vocals. He's got vocals.
Oh, that's impressive.